Did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
The Smoky Sky will be with us the rest of this afternoon. We do have an alert through midnight for Code Red air quality for everybody. It doesn't matter your age group or if you're sensitive and not. You want to limit your outdoor exposure as much as you can, not only the rest of this afternoon, this evening, and into the overnight hours. Humidity has dropped, thankfully, so we don't have that tropical feeling anymore. Temperature will top off in the mid-80s this afternoon, 66 overnight. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6 ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop the final days of July 4th savings now at Lowe's. Save on your choice of a DeWalt 20-volt Max brushless drill kit or impact driver kit. Just $99 each for a limited time. Lowe's knows July 4th savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/5. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
If summer is heating up your hiring needs, then you need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job and get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D, Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website.
Credit.
That's
credit.
Enter it now.
Do it.
FoxPHLGambler.com.
Give me the drums. Hey now. The countdown is on. No, really, it is. Over on ESPN, I just looked over at the monitor. They have a countdown for NBA free agency tipping off.
I thought you meant a countdown for your vacation.
Oh, that countdown is definitely on too as well.
That was the countdown you were talking about.
Hey, we're here, baby. Good afternoon. It's the Daily Ticket.
We're here for now.
John Jansen with you on a Thursday, streaming worldwide. iHeartRadio app and on our YouTube channel, Fox Sports, The Gambler. Yes, the big story of the day is what will James Harden do, believe it or not? It is, right?
I just want this chapter of that story to close, please. Please, God.
I'm confused over the whole player option stuff. I don't know. I guess if I dug a little deeper in it, it would probably make a little bit more sense. Didn't we go through this last year with James Harden? And so, of course, there's more money if he opts out, right? If that's how I'm adding it up.
Yes.
Is he going to make more money? I don't know. We'll see what the contract looks like if the 76ers.
If you're trying to ask me any NBA salary questions,
no,
please
I as you said, we've been breaking this whole topic down for a little while now, and it's kind of tiresome to say the least. But here we are on a Thursday, and look, I did put out a little caption. I've been doing some digging on audience engagement on YouTube, and one of the things that they say is what exactly
trying to check the algorithm.
Well, they're trying to claim that algorithm isn't what the emphasis should be about. It should be more on audience. And of course, if you're watching Major League Baseball right now, which a ton of us are at night watching our Phillies play, if you're watching the Phils, for crying out loud, tell me they don't have that look right now. Tell me you didn't get the look.
You got the look.
Tell me you didn't watch these last two nights. I don't care if it's the Cubs. I don't care if it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. It'd be better if it's the Braves. Cubs aren't that bad. They're middle of the road, maybe a little under.
They're all right. They're fine.
It is in Wrigley. It's on the road.
I mean, you are dodging their two best pitchers so far.
Well, I hate when you come over the top with facts. I just,
You just want me to stop doing
Nah,
that?
I kid. No, you're right. But look,
Look, now they get Kyle Hendricks tonight.
Mhm.
Hendricks has actually been pretty good since he's come back from his injury early on this season. 2.60 ERA. You know, this is one of the pitchers that if you get to, that would be impressive if they can do that again.
well, what would make you believe that they're not going to? They feel that it looks like the Phils are extremely comfortable over there in Chicago right now.
It does. It also feels like over the past 2 games at least, you know, the home runs have come now. Brandon Marsh hit 2
Yep.
a couple days ago. Then yesterday it was Josh Harrison and who else was it? Nick Castellanos. I think that hit home runs. So the home runs are starting to come. Rob Thompson just seems to kind of have that whatever buttons he pushes works kind of thing, because the lineup last night, he puts in Josh Harrison instead of Stott, and he puts in also Christian Pache. Pache early on hit a scorcher that the third baseman had no chance of getting. And then, of course, Harrison hit that home run. So you're right. It kind of has that. You know, bats are starting to get a little hot. Starting pitching's been great, even though Nola was whatever yesterday.
We'll get to Nola.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But then even, you know, the lineup looks good, and Thompson just seems to be pushing all the right buttons, which that felt like what he was doing last year.
Just going to bring that up, right? I was just going to bring that up. Our, good friend Phil, I saw him rant and raving, a little strong there. I saw him on the timeline saying, why give Marsh the day off? He just hit 2 bombs, XYZ.
To be fair, he's not the only one. I see it all the time with Thompson in his lineups. And I think it was more Stott, taking out Stott for Harrison. And, of course, Harrison had a great game.
Correct. Yeah. So that goes to a little bit of what you brought up to last year. It felt like Rob Thompson could do no wrong.
Because he was questioned a lot even last year.
Absolutely.
And especially during the playoffs. And then every time you questioned him, you just went, oh, wow, he was right. He made the right decision. And, of course, yesterday he was right. He was right to put Josh Harrison in. And, I want to make sure that it is understood that he won't put guys in bad situations, and I think what makes Thompson really good. So I think he does it with Brandon Marsh a lot. Brandon Marsh is having a great season. We talked about this yesterday, right? He's having an awesome season.
Tell the people a little bit more if they missed that, how good of a season Brandon Marsh is having.
I think he's he's 35th in OPS. He's a top 35 player, top 40 player. But, Sean.
It's crazy.
But if you take a look at his splits, he is an under 700 OPS hitter against left-handed pitching. So he is being protected, but that's fine. It's okay to protect Brandon Marsh in that way. And by the way, most pitchers are right-handed. So it works out in your favor that Marsh is going to play more than he isn't. But against lefties, you do need to get somebody else in. And Christian Pache's actually been really good this season.
Yeah.
So you know what is a really good example of this? Darren Ruff. Remember Darren Ruff had that really great year in San Francisco, and everybody's like, man, Darren Ruff is awesome. Where did he come from? This guy's great. He was platooning. He was only going up against left-handed pitching, and he had his OPS near like 900. And everybody's like, this guy's amazing. The Mets traded for him, got him. They started playing him every day, and they literally sent him down to the minors and released him because he was so bad. You need to put guys in good positions, and I think Thompson continually, without any kind of, he doesn't waver on it, so it's not like any situation he'll maybe look at a finer detail and go, oh, should I switch? He's just automatic. Hey, if it's a lefty, I don't care what that lefty split against Brandon Marsh. I know Brandon Marsh isn't hitting lefties. Let me take him out. And I think it's working to such a great degree. Why would he change that?
Also, I think that plays well in the clubhouse, too. There's no second guessing. They know.
No, they don't second guess him at all.
No, it's not. My point is,
I know
do you believe?
Mean.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that Brandon Marsh knew, even though he knew last night that he wasn't playing the next night?
Brandon Marsh, I think, is very aware of it. Has to be, because he's obviously sat so many games against left-handed starting pitchers. But I think they're okay with it. I think they understand what Rob Thompson's doing. And like you just said, I think there is a boatload of confidence in him as a manager in that club.
It would be very interesting to get the truth serum out and sit Brandon Marsh down after hitting 2 home runs
I'm
the
sure
way
he
he
doesn't
did.
I'm sure he doesn't like it.
Understood.
He would want to play.
Understood. Yeah, understood.
He's very aware of it. And to a certain extent,
but
I think trust Thompson whenever it happens.
Winning is everything, right? And this team is clearly doing it right now. I see Mike Powers checking in, and he gives me the LOL. Hey, Mike, is that because I said the Phillies have the look? Is that the reason why? Let's talk about those Mets.
They got to look as well.
Let's give
not a great one.
Let's give us 60 seconds on the Mets because Uncle Steve took the podium
I didn't
yesterday.
even hear. I just saw the set and I was like, "That's all I need." That's great.
Here's where I'll give you.
You had a baseball glove stool. I actually want that. That looked really cool.
They changed it out too.
Oh, that sucks. That's
no,
great.
hang on. So Buck Showalter does it normally at a table where he sits and he's all calm.
Yeah, usual podium. Right?
And then they said, get that out of there. And they made it a little bit, it would still look awkward. Anyways, let me ask you just big picture on that. I want you to hold on to that answer. Would you like having an owner like that? And did you have an issue with that? But hang on to that answer for just a second.
Yep.
Because yesterday, honestly, the whole press conference in totality was very underwhelming compared to the tweet. So the tweet was 10 times better than anything that happened in that press conference yesterday. So that is my point. Now, Middleton would be a guy that would get out in front of it. But, John, we're talking June 28th yesterday. And he had to say it a few times that, the season isn't over. But my goodness, the owner yesterday.
Yeah, this season isn't over, but it's, we're getting close.
It's over, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It didn't come off as productive. And I'm not trying to talk out of both sides of my mouth.
Why did he have to do that?
Because Middleton has done these sort of things before, if I'm not mistaken. Right. I know he came out when we fired Girardi last year. I think the year before he had a little, because then it was like, basically, I forget, these years just run together since the pandemic.
Yes, they do.
Something along the lines of, I think when the ownership group went over to him, he really had to be out in front. So I don't have an issue with it, but man, yesterday it really was teetering on that line going, dude, it's June 27th. You got a team that could very well rip off 20 out of 25. I would bet against it, but come on, man. That team has talent. Scherzer, Verlander, you go down the list, and they're damn good.
They do. I can't say they don't.
Yeah.
But it's certainly questionable talent.
It's all right. Joining us right now live.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Hello.
Got the great Roxy.
I think this is the first time I've been on the camera.
From Power 99.
Yeah. So that was your hoodie that was in there. I was trying to figure out. I saw a hoodie in there.
So this is really promotions hoodie that I stole because it is always cold in these studios.
Okay. Oh, but it's freezing in here. Or it's either 100 degrees in here or it's 50 degrees and there's no in between.
Now, Roxy,
right now it's 50.
You lived in Vegas before, right?
Yes, before coming here.
So I would imagine everything was cold out there. Anywhere you went, the ACs were blaring.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So they
needed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you would melt as soon as you walked outside.
All right.
By the way, Vegas, any tips for Vegas? We're going in August.
26.
My first time.
26.
So I'll be honest with you. Like, I was not the party girl like that. I didn't go to a lot of clubs. I was a show girl. I love the shows in Vegas.
Nice.
So I don't know what kind of shows you like.
I like anything.
My mind went somewhere else.
I was not talking, not the strip clubs. Okay.
There's a couple that went through my mind.
Yes. I know your mind is always in the gutter.
Your favorite show was what out there?
Michael Jackson one.
Nice.
The MJ one.
Wow, okay.
It's so good. You have to watch it. And there's no bad seat. You can get the cheapest seats and they're still amazing.
Oh, how about that?
We got to do something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, we got to see some showbiz.
I don't know if we'll have time for that, but maybe next time. Right?
What are we going to have time?
Roxy, you came in here. Did you forget something?
I needed you to send me something. So when you're done.
You give me, honestly, 7 minutes. Cool?
Absolutely.
3:20. You're the best.
Bye.
Roxy from Power 99. Yeah. Megan Gambler premiere, her first appearance here. I like that. Yeah, I love Roxy.
I feel like everybody has a great time when they're on our show. I'm always proud of that.
Well, here's what we need. And what do we need? We need a camera that shows. Like we got
guest camera.
I need a third camera just in case, because she wasn't on. People are hearing voices here and all that. So, anyways, love Roxy. All right. Getting back to what we were discussing. Sorry.
What were we discussing?
We're talking Phillies having to look, Powers, the Mets. Anyways,
owners shouldn't do that.
You don't think owners should do that? It's June 28th. Was it a little early for Uncle Steve to go all look at me?
But is he going to put out any fires that are there with the Mets? Like, is that one? Okay, everything's just gone ablaze. And let me just get out there and speak because it's
You
not
don't
going to
need
happen.
a bigger hose, bro, than what he brought in there yesterday.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. The only time an owner should go out there is when there is a change that is going to be made, or there's enough noise about a change that could possibly be made. You need to say, no, that's not happening. I don't recall. Was he asked at all about Showalter?
Oh, of course.
I'm sure. Okay, so maybe he was asked, but that wasn't the point of the press conference to go, I have my full confidence in Buck Showalter.
Yeah.
Like, none of it was that. It was just, it's not that bad. And that's it. You don't need a press conference for that. You need a press conference when something needs to be answered, whether that is firing somebody, whether that is, maybe you are going to start trading and you need to prepare your fan base. So you just said, hey, we're going to win World Series and go, this season's not going our direction. We're probably going to start making some moves here. It's something, but that was just, it's could be worse.
Yeah.
We got time.
Yeah. Well, I think
nobody needs to hear that.
I think he is very,
you don't need to tweet before what he tweeted and then say that.
Steve Cohen is very fan-like, right?
Oh, he is.
And then immediately after, the dust settles and you calm down, a lot like anybody else that sends a tweet out there that you instantly regret, a couple hours later, you're like, damn, man, I'm not feeling the same way. And I'm sure he's walking in and, he wants to believe in this team and say that they can turn it around. But, and that's where the bravado kind of seeped out of him. And he just was answering questions that we already knew the answers to.
Exactly.
Anyways, moving on from the Mets, we gave them way too much than the 30 seconds there.
Meet the Mets.
I'll give you that.
Do it. Yeah. Come on.
All right, get on out of here. Anyways, Luke Arcani checking in, our Phillies insider. Hey, tomorrow's a big day for us here on the station. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to send it into July the right way with a nice block party extravaganza right here. Yeah, and I'm fired up. Roy Burton's coming through. Luke's coming through. There's going to be some other special guests to possibly popping on. Victor's going to be joining us, Eagles Insiders.
The block party still happen?
You're damn right.
Okay.
This is
I wasn't sure because, COVID changed a lot of things. I did, but COVID changed a lot of things.
They literally rent or block off blocks. Like they apply for permits.
I was just because there are a lot of things that have changed.
Block parties
in the
have canceled. No more block parties.
I didn't know if people still were willing to go because, we all just got reserved after,
I think things have.
Pandemic.
Although, and then you go outside this morning and they're like, don't go outside.
You can't tell me that habits haven't. Oh, well, yeah. Now it's again, there's, smoke.
Canada, would you fix your, what's going on up there? Do something about this.
I don't want to say
smoke.
anything because, we could probably do something just as bad. Who knows?
I don't know. Have we ever interjected on our Canadian friends?
Well, I don't think that the smoke could go that direction.
Moving on. To make the playoffs, DraftKings Sportsbook's where we're getting our odds from, folks. Minus 145 on the yes, on the no, plus 125. Of course, bringing it back to the Fightins here to go big picture. And this is really where I'm at right now. Again,
big picture you going here?
The last 2 days, the last 2 games against the Cubbies, of course. Look at all the wins that they've had. Look at all the series victories that they've had in the last 5 weeks. The performance by Ranger Suarez. Now the bats are coming on. Topper pulling all the right strings. Yeah, I'm thinking that this team could very well match up against the Atlanta Braves and just like last year, knock them off in the playoffs. Way ahead of myself right now.
I think you're getting
for
very
June,
ahead of yourself.
But 11-1 to represent the National League in the World Series again this year. DraftKings Sportsbook.
I don't want to take that yet.
Are you surprised that the Giants are in front of the Phillies here at 9-1?
I'm not. Giants are having a good year.
Sure.
And they've been good recently as well. And they also have a wild card spot at the moment. The Phillies don't have that. I would reserve everything on the Phillies until they get into the wild card. I think they will.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
But it does to me. I think they will, but they just need to get in. And it's looking like as much as I want to push Miami away and say that they aren't good, they keep doing well. And I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, the Miami Marlins that I was talking about a month ago.
I know. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect Yuri Perez to be the Cy Young frontrunner in my eyes now. Over the last few months.
Fair.
I mean, it's ridiculous. They now have this another great starter. Their lineup continues to do well. Arise has been one of the best hitters in baseball.
The best hitter in baseball.
It's not to say Miami is a lock to take that wild card spot, but maybe I was dismissing them a little too quickly.
Yeah. Well,
and they continue to win at a high clip. San Francisco, they're a good baseball team. They were good a couple of years ago. I know last year was a down year, but still, they have a lot of talent, great organization. And if they want to spend a little bit, the trade deadline, we know they can make some good moves. And then, of course, Los Angeles is the one occupying the third spot, the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So it is a very loaded, I would say, top 4 to 5 in the wild card. And, a 1 or 2 of those teams that probably should be in are going to be left out. And the Phillies could be one of those. I don't know if that happens. I don't think that happens. I still think they find a way to get in. But I want to wait to bet anything on the Phillies until I finally see them in the wild card, and I can just bet them then.
All right. I'm going full cannonball.
So I imagine it's not going to be too crazy from 11-1. You may be getting 9-1 on the Phillies then because they're in the playoffs.
When a month from now, when they finally lock up a spot, or 2 weeks from now?
Look, if you want to do that, yeah, but I don't think it's going to drastically move, because you just said San Francisco, who has the second wild card spot, you just said they're 9-1. So you're going to, you lose a sum of the plus money value, but still, I think the comfort of knowing that they have a playoff spot, I think, is a lot more important.
All right, Phillies back in action this evening, Game 3 against the Chicago Cubs. Taijuan Walker, come on down, -120 is your number there. Flip side, Kyle Hendricks, as Jansen pointed out, even money for the Cubs. Run line, you can get the Phils at +135 at -1.5 for the hometown Cubbies. +1.5 at -155. Luke Arcani checking in. He loves the Phils, and he said a Trey bomb tonight. Hey, now.
Ooh, can we get one from Bryce? We need a Bryce one.
Man, I know we would all love to see it. I would imagine he'd love to see. He'd love it.
I thought he
more,
had
right?
one yesterday.
Yeah,
I thought he had one. And the thing is, he's just missing. There is something just slightly off of the swing, and that's baseball. It's something slightly off. It could really cost you for a few weeks, and it just feels like that's where we're at with Harper.
Trey Turner +425 to go yard this evening. Bryce Harper +320. All right, so we will continue the conversation, all things MLB. We got a full slate of games. We got live action. We got a lot to discuss. On today's show, coming up at 4 o'clock, daily ticket debut. Man, I'm excited. On Saturday, when we did the Powers show down there at Citizens Bank Park and Xfinity Live, and he rolled out a cast, dude. Shout out to Mike Powers. It was really cool to see what he was able to put together, and with the Mets versus the Phillies vibe. And one of these gentlemen that he brought in was Sheffield Shuffler, who does a lot of really great content on YouTube, and is a Phillies fan. So next thing you know, he's there at the broadcast, sitting down next to me. We're talking Phillies. We're ripping on the Mets. We got along great, right? High five. Everybody was happy. I said, dude, love to get you on the show. So he's going to join us at 4:05. The Sheffield Shuffler. Peter is his name. So we'll find out his background and, of course, talk a little bit more about why I believe this Phillies team has the look and whether or not he agrees as far as that is concerned. And we'll go some big picture stuff as well. Looking forward to getting him on the show. Pete, daily ticket debut coming up at 4:05. And then 4:35, watch out. We're getting in the mud, but a perfect day to get Mark Henry Jr. on the show because NBA Slop Fest is off and running.
Oh, yeah, it is here.
And shout out to Trill because the slop. Look at Richard Jefferson, bro. Come on, man. I need a butter. Come on, bro. Good Lord.
He is. Does he know he's on national television?
He does it on purpose. Richard Jefferson literally
it's one
has
thing
no.
To do that as like a look if you're out at a party or something or whatever, but you're on national television, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a little. I don't know. Whatever. He's doing his thing, man. He's making that money.
I'm all for a casual look, even on television. None of those guys are wearing
casual.
None of those guys are wearing. No, that's what. But I mean, now a casual look is they're not wearing any ties or anything. They're wearing sneakers and stuff. Yeah. So it's a little bit more casual, and I'm completely fine with that. But dude, you have half of your shirt unbuttoned. Button it up.
Richard Jefferson.
Clean it up, dude.
He is definitely hanging out. All right,
he's a weird guy.
I love him.
He's very weird.
I love him.
He's good. I think he's weird. I think he's very weird.
Luke Arcani checking back in.
As
Bryce,
a weird person myself, I feel like I have a good radar for weird people.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Nice. Bryce breaks out of the power slump and goes yard for the sweep, and I'm calling for a World Series in June. Let's go. All right, we got some other things we got to discuss. Of course, the hot rumor that just came out probably a few hours ago, 2 hours ago, with the Phoenix Suns getting the band back together. Oh, my goodness. We'll discuss the latest rumors as far as the NBA is concerned. Could it happen? I think so. I believe whenever there's smoke, there's fire. We'll find out if that's more true or not with the James Harden situation that came out in January, where he said he was going to go to Houston.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, there's smoke everywhere now.
It's fair.
I mean, the NBA is just
literally.
The NBA is just a forest fire.
Just go outside.
It is.
There's
That's not from Canada. That's just NBA trade rumors.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
All right, and we got
everybody's going everywhere.
Some fun side topics that I want to get into. Of course, everything that took place last night. Herman throwing the perfect game. Yankees rolling out.
I didn't watch. I hate to admit this is the baseball guy. I didn't watch a second of that perfect game.
I'm at midnight.
I know, but I was up.
Oh, I passed out early last night.
It's just after the Phillies game, I immediately turned off all baseball.
I've been doing really well in the last 2 weeks. Getting up at 6 a.m., 6:15. Getting the house clean, doing my thing. 6:30. Yeah, I lay around for a little bit. But
a little bit.
Yeah, I've been doing well, right? Getting up. But the key to that is, of course, going to bed before midnight. So I've been doing all right there. All right, Daily Ticket. I can't wait to discuss top 5 side dishes after what I cooked last night. This, I'm telling you right now, has got to be top 3 sides if you're going to a restaurant. And for the first time in my life, I cooked it, and boy, it was banging. It's the Daily Ticket, where we just talk about basically nothing.
We talk about nothing.
Don't go anywhere.
I'll probably just talk about movies soon. Who
That's
knows?
right.
We'll just keep doing that.
We're back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Head to Rita's for a 5-layer gelati. Back for a limited time only. Be cool. Go to Rita's.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
95 southbound calling Academy to approaching bridge with a crash in the left lane. Northbound Jan Gerard up past bridge with a gate for delay. While whipping heavy into New Jersey down to 42 south of Creek Road. 295 southbound calling from Democrat Road to Tomlin Station with a crash. All right, to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop the final days of July 4th savings now at Lowe's. Save on your choice of a DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill kit or impact driver kit. Just $99 each for a limited time. Lowe's knows July 4th savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/5. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
This holiday weekend, do not drink and drive, because we want you to arrive alive at #1 Barbera Boulevard, where you're going to find the biggest tent sales event in Old Delaware Valley. Payments from only $129 a month. You want a smoking hot Dodge Charger? Hello, row after row, ready to go from just $14,990 each, like we say every day. As long as there's a crack in the Liberty Bell. All we do is discount Dodgers, Chryslers, and Jeeps cheap. 0 down delivers, 0% APR financing, and instant credit. Come and get it.
Philadelphia's Credit Connection.
Get your butt to Barbera's giant tent sales event on Barbera Boulevard at Barbeck in the great Northeast.
Coach Sirianni, is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Go Birds!
Tax tags and 422 doc fees on approved credit with proper down payment. Call or click 1-800-Barbera.com for details.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Gary Barbera with one more thing to say.
God bless you and God bless America.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, apixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents. Expert advice.
And there's number 4.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at TopDogLaw.com. Once again, that's TopDogLaw.com. Latest report on my timeline as we are counting down the now hours.
Please don't tell me this is another like NBA trade rumor. I don't want to hear it.
James Harden could command up to $50 million per year on his next deal. Mike A. Scotto from the USA Today.
Yeah, but who's paying him that?
Quote, there's been a recent belief that Harden could command an average annual salary of 40 to 50 per year in a short-term deal from the Sixers after previously taking a discount with the Sixers to help the team land PJ Tucker. Oh, gee, thanks. Thanks for
help the team land PJ Tucker.
Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at, man. I still believe. I still believe that.
How do you feel if you're James Harden and you give up all that money just to be like, okay, get me a good basketball player and we can be good?
I still
and
believe.
Daryl Morey goes, I got PJ Tucker.
Well,
I got it.
That's kind of what Joel Embiid wanted him.
I don't care what Joel Embiid wants.
Well,
is Joel Embiid the GM of the team?
Come on, man.
Is he the president of basketball operations?
Superstar 101. You got to appease your superstars.
You got to win something first before you can do that.
Well,
you know why LeBron can tell every single one of his GMs, I'm not doing that, or I want that move, I want that player? Because he's won.
Yeah.
Like 4 of them.
Well, Kevin Durant won because of the Golden State Warriors. He gets away with it. Look,
Kevin Durant has never been a GM.
You should approach Joel Embiid. At that point in time, I don't have an issue with it. But now it didn't work out. And now Joel Embiid needs to step to the microphone and speak. But
did he specifically ask for PJ Tucker?
He said we need to get tougher. PJ. Yeah, something along the lines of we need to get tougher. We got to get, they lost to the Miami Heat, remember, in that series. And PJ Tucker did play well. So
that's great, but PJ Tucker stinks.
He does. It's ridiculous. I'd trade him for an Oreo cookie. Anyways,
you said in bringing a crumble cookie.
Well, the crumble cookies are coming tomorrow.
Are you going to bring them in tomorrow? Okay, nice. What else are you bringing in tomorrow? What's the spread here?
We are going live at 3 p.m. On our YouTube channel at Fox Sports The Gambler, and of course live on air, streaming on the iHeartRadio app. It's our block party. We are rolling in. Damn it, I forgot. Come on in, Roxy. What do I need to send you?
This guy.
Yeah, we're back on the air. We forgot.
He completely forgot.
Come on, what do I need to send you?
I walked away and I was supposed to be 7 minutes. I don't even know how long it
That's
was.
all right. What is it on this computer?
It's on, yes.
Oh, so we got to log back out and then log back.
Log back out. You don't have to log back out.
Yeah.
I just need you to send me something on
You do whatever you got to do. It should be. Oh yeah, and then I got my Gmail up. We'll pop it in there and we'll send it to you. All good. Roxy, how you doing? Everything good? Yes. All right. Nice.
Oh, hey.
Now you're on. Yeah.
Do you think the Sixers should sign James Harden back, Roxy?
Has he really done that much for the Sixers?
Good answer. Good answer.
That
Good
is a good
answer.
answer.
Now
But
you.
what's the options? Like if
That's
are
also
we-
another good question.
You know, like who are we getting? Like if we don't.
Correct.
That's the question.
It's right now between 5 and 6 o'clock. He has to decide on opting out of a player option. Listen to this: $36.5 million. He could say yes to 36.5, or he could say, you know what?
And then what? Where's he going?
We'll find out.
He's going to be with Sean at the clubs in Houston.
I heard rumors that he was going back to the Rockets.
That's right. And it still could be, but that's probably just the agent speaking to get his price tag up because he's staying here. Again, he can make more money here, apparently, but we'll find out. 5 to 6 p.m. Roxy, have you ever had a deadline where you had to decide on $36.5 million?
No, I can't say I have. I wish I did have that problem.
I wonder what that's like in life. Yes.
That's how I'm going to negotiate my next iHeart contract.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
I want the Harden money.
Yeah, exactly. Coming up.
I do just as much as Harden does, you know?
He did lead the league in assists. Come on.
He did. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, he was all right. He wasn't that bad.
At least I show up when it matters, you know?
You do. You show up. Let's just put it that way. 4:05, the Sheffield Shuffler. Peter's going to join us. Of course, we'll talk all things Phil's with him. As I said yesterday after last night's game, they got the look. They got that look that we saw last year. And, of course, when you're hitting on all cylinders and I'm going to send
now,
it
is that
to
just a judgment call from you? Is there something you have to see, or is it just when you have the look, you have it?
You got here, Roxy, pop your thing in there. Oh, your email address. Yeah, there you go. No, look, there you are. How about that? You popped right up. Oh, there was the one time I was inboxing. That's right. Remember? I kid.
Oh,
I don't know how that popped up because it's a Gmail account. Normally,
I know,
iHeart
that
doesn't
is
pop up on a
absolutely my
Gmail.
email. Oh my God, thank you.
I think I was when you were in Vegas. I was writing those at night. That's what it was.
I don't even want to know about anything.
Thank you,
popping up
Roxy. You're the best. All right. Again,
I don't even want to know what comes into your email,
dude.
I'm sure.
Here's what I'll tell you. Roxy was awesome. I used to listen. She is awesome. She's on Power 99's morning show.
She was awesome.
But no, she was doing stuff. What the hell was it? It was the throwback channel that I was doing stuff for, and she was somewhat on that, but she was doing a million other stations, and I just remember hearing her. I'm like, wow, she is really good. And next thing you know, like a year later, she's in Philadelphia, and I'm like, well, sometimes I get things right, Jansen. I have that ear. That's what I would tell you.
You do. I mean, you had a good enough ear to realize how great I was.
Yeah, there you go. I knew that was coming. Put that on a t-shirt. All right, quickly on the NBA rumor mill here, because this is ridiculous. Putting the Sixers to the side, apparently Kyrie Irving is meeting with the Phoenix Suns in a surprise meeting. According to Mark Stein, he reported this morning that Kyrie is expected to re-sign with the Dallas Mavericks. The All-Star guard, according to Chris Haynes, was reported earlier this week that him and the Mavericks both met up a little earlier this week, and everything was looking that essentially there was no leverage for Kyrie. He was going to end up with the Dallas Mavericks. Oh, not so fast, my friend. Apparently, Kyrie and his agent have found a way to get to the table here. Now, there are some rumors out there that it could be working a sign and trade. DeAndre Ayton could be in the mix here. Let's just put everything to the side as far as details are concerned, and let's just get into that barroom conversation for a second. If I give you Kyrie Irving added to Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and whatever other players are currently on that roster, does that mean NBA finals? Does that mean Western Conference finals? Does that mean success another level from what was already expected with the Phoenix Suns, who, oh, by the way, were third as far as odds are concerned on DraftKings Sportsbook to win it all, only behind the Denver Nuggets, who won it last year, and the Boston Celtics, who got better with the trade with Kristaps Porzingis? So, again, they get Kyrie Irving. Where does that put them in the hierarchy for you, power rankings, all things West?
I mean, in terms of just talent, right? We're just talking about talented basketball players on one roster on paper. It's Phoenix. That is a lot of talent that you just mentioned there. And Devin Booker is one of the top guards in this league. Kyrie Irving's one of the best scorers in this league. Kevin Durant's one of the best scorers in this league. They even still would have DeAndre Ayton, right? It would be
no, DeAndre Ayton's going to be worked in a sign and trade, apparently.
Sign and trade
with Kyrie.
That's
Yeah, that's what the deal is.
So he would go in that one. I was about to say you would have some inside presence, but heck, you don't even need that because you're going to get Kyrie, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, and you're just going to outshoot everybody. So on paper, I mean that's a lot of high-end NBA talent, but it's hard not to look at what Brooklyn did and think, well, how is that not going to happen in Phoenix?
Yeah.
And it's hard not to look what Kyrie Irving, when he got traded out of Brooklyn, went to Dallas, and the same thing happened again. You go, well, how can that not happen in Phoenix?
But so that,
and it's not just Kyrie Irving. It's just,
that's my point.
This is just trying to build the team in the way Brooklyn did, and Brooklyn did it in twice in different ways because they did it with Paul Pierce, like Kevin Garnett, and all that stuff too, getting them from Boston. They try to do this multiple times and it never worked.
Yeah.
And Phoenix now is all in on this. Once they traded for Kevin Durant, they had no choice but to keep doing stuff like this. But how can that be better than what they were doing? I mean, they were doing the things that Boston was. They were doing the things that Milwaukee was, and all these great teams. And teams
two against Denver. Two against Denver without Chris Paul.
And you're right. The way Denver's doing things too, they were building a team that had a lot of depth, that fit together. That was, I think, a really good combination of wing players, guards, scorers, inside presence, all of it. They had everything, and they essentially got rid of that to try and create the super teams that Brooklyn was doing, and Brooklyn didn't work. So how is this all of a sudden going to be the one that works?
Let's get into the yes or no part of it here, and I'm curious to know your answer. If you were Isaiah Thomas, who seems to be pulling the strings now for Phoenix with all of his skeletons in the closet. Yeah, it really
he doesn't fit the criteria of an NBA GM.
Well, especially
I knew he fit the criteria to, make it to the Olympics.
But let's remember what happened with the Phoenix Suns in the last 3 years. And now you one of the first hires you make in the front office, unless I'm missing something, is Isaiah Thomas. I don't know if that's exactly the best look, but who cares? We just talk about winning a game right now or winning an NBA championship. We're just having more success than what you just had this previous year with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and so on and so forth. Bradley Beal's a great piece. He plays.
He is.
He could shoot the living daylights out of the ball if he stays healthy.
Kevin Durant's a great piece. Devin Booker's a great piece.
They're not pieces. They're main events. They're main courses. That's the issue here. My point is, does Kyrie to the Suns make them a better team when it comes to winning an NBA championship? Will it be more fun to watch? Absolutely. Whether you're on the Phoenix Suns, a fan base or in the fan base or against them, that is going to be awesome television. You're going to tune into every one of those games, whether you're hate watching or you're just an NBA fan or whatever. That's going to be can't miss television if they did roll out that team. It already is with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. But I'm talking about success, knowing what we know that took place in Brooklyn, all because of Kyrie Irving. Everything that follows Kyrie. Do you want that with your team? Yes or no? John Jansen, you go first.
Well, no, obviously you don't want the circus that comes with Kyrie Irving. And I mean, he put it himself in Dallas that it was a cluster bleep, and it's been that way everywhere he's gone. So I imagine that could follow him to Phoenix. But even outside of that, even if you don't want to look at the superficial, well, he's a good for the locker room. Is he going to be a good enough leader? Is he going to get along with everybody? Even if you want to get past all of that stuff, who are they going to defend? They have zero defenders. Zero. Kyrie Irving can't defend. Devin Booker is not a great defender. Bradley Beal doesn't defend. Kevin Durant's got some length, so he can, but it's not like he's an elite defender. So are they just going to outscore everybody 150 to 140?
That's
essentially what they're doing, right? That feels like the plan. The plan is to just score a boatload of points and not care about defense. But again, that's just a flaw that I don't know if it works. Because once they run into a team like Denver, this well-oiled machine that's balanced, that has the top-end talent, but also has good role players to work beside them, and even has a couple of guys off the bench, what is Phoenix going to do against that team? They're going to be spun around. So as much as, I could say that, yes, the Kyrie Irving thing isn't going to work because of, the cluster bleeps that follow him. I also don't think it works because I don't think the team is is good enough once they run into some of these great teams we see in the NBA now, like Denver. I just don't know how they're going to defend them and how that style of basketball is going to work.
At Fox PHL Gambler, love to get you involved in the conversation as always. Yes or no?
They don't even have a ball handler in that case.
Well,
none of those guys are a ball handler.
Isn't Bradley Beal essentially the point guard with Kyrie Irving in a mix? I assume.
I mean, it's a bunch of two guards. Kyrie Irving's the quote unquote point guard, but he's not a point guard though.
No, and I don't want him bringing the ball up. And I don't think to me, it's more of when it's crunch time. Kevin Durant's going to bring the ball up. You know that. He's going to get rid of it early and hopefully get it back in his hands.
That offense is just going to be.
Dude, you can't get rid of the ball. Kevin Durant's going to be inbounding because once you pass it, you're never going to see it again.
I mean, that offense is just going to be, okay, who wants to play ISO on this possession? Who wants to do that?
Fox PHL Gambler, yes or no? Now back to you, Jansen, as far as the odds are concerned. Does that bump them to number one if they get Kyrie Irving?
It has to. It doesn't have to. Because Denver did just win, and they have Jokic.
I'm not taking them over Denver.
I wouldn't take them over Denver, but I think what you're asking me is a little bit different.
Well,
and obviously, Kyrie
because
Irving,
of the money coming in.
Look, Kristaps Porzingis moved the market for Boston. Anything new is going to move the market. Any splash, any trade is going to move the market. And Kristaps, I don't even know if that's better or not for them. And Kristaps changed it significantly for Boston for the Eastern Conference. And so I imagine Kyrie Irving's going to do the same thing where he comes in, he's the new move, the new piece, everybody's talking about it, and they're going to just climb up. Already, they're pretty high up, but climb up even more the Western Conference and, of course, NBA Finals ladder, and they're going to be one of the favorites.
You know what's crazy is you think about it from the Mavericks' perspective, and I'm all right with losing Kyrie Irving. He played well for them, 20 games, 27 points per game, I think it was.
No defense.
I get it, but you're not bringing
defense.
Kyrie Irving in to play defense.
No, but you need somebody to.
Understood.
And so they had Luka and Kyrie that can score against anyone, doesn't play any defense, and they lost a lot of games with Kyrie.
And they missed the playoffs.
They missed the playoffs.
But
they lost. So you could say Kyrie did well, but the thing is it didn't fit. And so they lost a lot of games when Kyrie got there. And I think that's something that you could warn Phoenix about. Hey, does this actually fit?
To the bigger picture or the bigger question about what are the Dallas Mavericks doing? They lost Jalen Brunson for nothing.
Yep.
What a mistake that was.
They should have paid him immediately.
Well, yes and no, and who knows if he would have stayed. And
I would have paid him after the first few games of his the playoff run with Dallas when Luka was out.
It seemed like things weren't connecting, and I remember it vaguely, but of course we're not Dallas Sports Talk Radio, so I'm sure there's a million and one details that we don't.
Well, no,
don't know
because there's obviously a Villanova connection,
but they knew.
We obviously know his dad is with the Knicks,
correct,
and that is something that he wanted. And I'm sure his dad wanted.
All I know is Mr. Shark Tank himself played it wrong.
He played it wrong.
They got nothing for Jalen Brunson. And then they give up a ton to get Kyrie Irving. And then now you're sitting here, okay, look, I don't think Kyrie's going to sign anywhere else. I don't believe that is how this is going to play out. This is going to be a sign and trade. He's going to sign with the Dallas Mavericks, and therefore there will be another team out there. I just feel like Cubes got this one wrong, and he needed to get something for Brunson because it looks really bad right now. Really bad. When does Luka ask out? Next year?
I don't know Luka enough to know that. Would he care? He's the number one guy, and he's going to score a boatload of points. I mean, they're going to win. They're going to win games with just Luka.
All right, at Fox PHL Gambler.
Oh, no, what did somebody say?
No, my man T-Mont checked in. I said, Kyrie to the Suns, yes or no? He said, fire Kyrie to the Sun, ? Yes, please. Thought that was good. All right, I want to squeeze this in. Once again, coming up at 4 o'clock, we will have the Sheffield Shuffler, 4:05. We'll talk some Phils. We'll get back over to the MLB card, 4:35, Mark Henry Jr., which the slop fest that we have right now, where Andre Drummond is on my timeline. Like, we're talking about an Andre Drummond contract here. The slop is my cup is running over.
Did I see something about Paul Reed yesterday?
Hey, we love Paul Reed here.
Do we?
Yeah, Joe.
I mean, I like Paul Reed. Paul Reed's a good guy.
Colton's man. Come on, dude.
I know that's great, but
we're big Paul Reeds.
That's not really going to move the needle for me, though.
Well, it's the perfect time to have Mark Henry Jr. Of course, we will revisit the conversation we had yesterday about Villanova. I definitely want to get his take on Kyle Neptune. He's not happy, and we will discuss the whole Cam Whitmore situation again as well. Last night, I cooked for the first time in my life in a side.
You cooked. I'd see you're doing this too slow because it's sounding like you said I've cooked for the first time in my life.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, got to go a little bit faster.
For the first time in my life, I cooked a side.
Yeah, there you go.
And it was delicious. And that side was cream spinach.
Cream spinach. Okay,
oh, dude.
I've had cream spinach.
Of course, I've had it before.
No, have I? I think so. Yeah, cream spinach. Yeah,
if you've been to a
the dip.
steakhouse.
Yeah, the spinach dip, right?
You always no, a spinach dip is like
as a side. I don't know if I've ever had creamed spinach as a side.
You're thinking like artichoke dip. You're thinking
I'm
about
thinking like that, but there's a spinach.
Dip.
Yeah, but there is a spinach dip.
That's the appetizer. Yeah. So the side.
Yeah, I've had that. I'd say I didn't know this was a side. I don't know if I would eat it as a side.
Spinach. True story.
Do you not dip it in any? Dip anything in it? It's just the side you just eat.
Correct. No, it comes as a side. Yeah, we had.
Okay, I don't like that.
I had chicken thighs. Put them on. Boom. Ooh. Nice. Oh, it was great. Grilled them
wouldn't
up.
you put that over top the chicken thighs?
No,
Wouldn't
it's
that be
a side,
nice...
dude. It's not like a
I don't
marinade.
think this is it. This doesn't feel like a side.
Pesto.
This doesn't feel like a side though.
It's a side dish.
I don't believe you. I've never seen it as a side dish.
Cream spinach, dude. You got to get out. Honestly, they have cream spinach at Applebee's. I don't know. I've been at Applebee's in forever, so don't look that up. But steakhouse, it's a standard for steakhouse sides. Let's put it that way. And
I'm not a big steakhouse guy, apparently.
Yeah, apparently I found that out about you. So all I know is my wife goes to the store. I was supposed to cook dinner, and I'm like, damn, like I don't have a side. So I opened up the freezer, and then literally we had nothing in the house. And I'm like, ooh, there's spinach there, and it's this frozen block of spinach. I'm like, all right, let's give cream spinach a shot. So I throw it in, and I just did a real quick menu or recipe a search on the Google, and I got it, and it called for shallots, and I happen to have 2 shallots in the house.
Oh, that's
in the house. I had some Parmesan cheese. I had some heavy cream, dude, and some garlic. This was easily one of the best things that I've ever made. I'm not lying to you. That's how good it was. And it was perfect with the chicken thighs on the grill, nice and crispy. Oh my god, man! Last night's meal was like a 10 out of 10. Bobby Flay, get the hell out of my way. I'm serious. That's how good it was.
You're raving about something as simple as creamed spinach.
I would have won Chopped with that creamed spinach. I'm telling you right now. Yes, spinach. That's what I said.
So, I know. I feel like I'm putting an appendage.
So the big question is right now, and you're probably not the right guy to ask this because it seems like you don't get out much. You don't eat much. Other than what? What are you eating these days? Just Wawa?
Buckets of popcorn.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
I love popcorn.
I
love popcorn.
3.
But no, I just cream spinach. No, I don't know.
Top 3 sides. When you go to
can I say asparagus? Is it a side?
Absolutely. Asparagus is
Asparagus is a great side, especially with steaks.
Now, I'm curious. Is this your personal top 3 list?
This is my personal, yes.
Okay, what are your
Because
top
I don't think I am an expert enough to put a top 3.
That's fair. So give me a top 3 to you sides.
I would go asparagus.
Okay, good. Very good. Does it make your pee stink?
Sting?
Yeah, stink.
Stink. Yeah, you said sting.
Stink.
I was about to say, what kind of asparagus?
Very weird that happens, but it doesn't happen to everyone. I don't know why
it does. It does happen to me.
Yeah, same here.
So asparagus, mashed potatoes with anything.
Oh,
I guess, you know what? And can that be interchangeable, like mashed potato or the baked potato, whatever potato you want?
I think they're completely different ballparks. Okay. Yeah, you're talking about Fenway and Wrigley.
So I'll say for the sake, because I think it's more appropriate to get with like a steak or something like that as a side, a baked potato.
Okay.
And then
loaded baked potato. Do you go all sloppy with it? Give me bacon. Give me the sour cream, the cheese,
loaded
the butter,
loaded baked potatoes.
The chives.
Yeah. I've had it loaded.
It's so good.
I'm not the biggest baked potato guy, but loaded baked potatoes I can get.
I'm
more of a mashed potato.
I'd go mashed potatoes 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, mashed potato. Oh my god, with gravy on it.
Oh yeah, now we're cooking, baby. Now we're talking. All right, give me one more.
Mac and cheese.
Standard.
And I know that's a very standard one.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat though.
Standard.
And it's weird with steak though, isn't it?
Mac and cheese with steak?
No, are we just talking about on the side with steak, or like what are we doing? Just anything?
You know, when you go to a restaurant, they have other things you can order than steak, right?
But I thought we were just doing that because, like, I don't know. Usually it's what is the side with this, but we're doing any any meat item with
Yeah.
sides on.
You can go
Okay.
steak, go chicken, whatever. I mean, whatever.
Okay,
floats
well,
your boat.
I'll say coleslaw then.
It does matter though
I'm a
to the
huge cut, right?
to the meal. You're right.
Because I can't just put coleslaw with anything.
No.
Coleslaw with like a barbecue meal, that is
Standard.
10 out of 10. though.
Gotta have
That
coleslaw.
is 10 out of 10.
I agree. My wife is
Like that's
freak.
a perfect combination of a side and a meal together.
My wife is a coleslaw freak.
I am too. I love
When
all.
I order
am-
barbecue, she's
and I'm
like,
I'm not even a snob with coleslaw. I'll have any kind of it because I know there's different kinds of coleslaw.
she gets coleslaw on the sandwich.
Yep.
And
Yep.
on the side.
Good for her.
And like a full bucket that I gotta put in the trunk of the car as well. It's like she wants to take a dip in it.
That's amazing. Good for her.
All right, top three
She's doing the right thing.
sides at Fox PHO Gambler and Kyrie to the Suns. Are your thumbs up on that? Folks, we are under 2 hours until James Harden will decide whether or not
Our lives
35
are going to
million
change forever.
is enough for this upcoming season, or he's going to get another deal. We'll find out, and we'll keep you up to date on everything in the NBA. But on the other side, making his daily ticket debut, the Sheffield Shuffler is what he is known on socials, on YouTube, as a great channel, diehard Phillies fan. We're going to talk about the Phils and how they got that look again. Do not go anywhere. More Daily Ticket back at this.
The Gambler. Phillies home for all things sports gambling.
From tee to green, the best place to get in on all the action happening on the links is DraftKings Sportsbook. This week, new customers will receive an odds boost to add plus 1,000 to any pre-tournament wager, up to $10 on any golfer to win. So, for example, if you're a new customer and you see a golfer to win this weekend's tournament at plus 1,000 odds, DraftKings will boost that golfer to plus 2,000 odds for your shot at a bigger payout. DraftKings will be featuring parlays and odds boosts all tournament long. So be sure to check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day before the tournament starts to see what they have in store. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DING and boost your odds during this weekend's tournament. That's code DING, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only. Odds boost token expires 7 days after issuance. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/golf terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means, wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait. Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Jake from State Farm here to answer your what ifs.
What if I need a policy, but I just can't choose?
An agent can help you choose. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Wendy's is open till midnight or later, so you can give in to the craving and go night mode. Now all of your favorite menu items just got their bedtime extended. You can get what you want even later, like the Baconator with 6 strips of bacon, or the perfect fries and Frosty Duo. If you're up later, then so are we. So go ahead and pull through the drive-thru. When the craving hits, go night mode at Wendy's. Open till midnight or later. All right, see ya later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Hurry into Mattress Firm's July 4th sale today to have a sleep expert find the right bed for you. Save up to 60% on top rents until Tuesday, with queens starting at $169.99. Plus, for a limited time, save $500 on the new Tempur-Breeze mattress and get a $300 instant gift.
This is Clay Travis. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
NFL players Isaiah Rodgers, Rashad Berry, and Demetrius Taylor were suspended for at least a year today for betting on the league's games. CBS Sports has ranked the Eagles' Hassan Reddick as one of the NFL's top edge rushers. They placed him 5th after recording 16.5 sacks last season. And the Phillies will have their eyes on a sweep tonight when they wrap up their series against the Cubs. Philly starts the day in 3rd in the NL East. I'm Scott Davidson.
The fully electric EQS sedan from Mercedes-Benz is innovation on a magnificent scale. Available with the epic 56-inch touch-sensitive Hyperscreen. The vehicle is all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQS.
Replace your divot, rake the trap, mark your ball, and listen to Swing It and Ding It.
As we take a look at the Rocket Mortgage Classic, from tee to green, the best place to go to get in on all the action happening on the links is DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DING and boost your odds during this weekend's tournament. Guy like last year runner-up Taylor Pendrith, who's looking to get back on track at 7,500. I talked about Hideki at 1,600. Got to ride Austin Eckroat. I'm going to take him in the top 5 at plus 1,000. And then Chris Kirk, who plays really well on Donald Ross courses. He's had a T21 or better the past 3 years here. I'm going to take him in a top 10 at 1,100. I can't touch Ricky at that number at 1,400.
No.
So that's about it for my seat of the line.
Yeah, I'm going to take Eckroat over Harmon in a matchup. Minus
I like
110.
Listen to the Swing It and Ding It podcast every week on the iHeartRadio app. Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Traffic's crawling westbound Schuylkill Bear to the Vine Expressway with a crash in the right lane. Eastbound bumper to bumper, approaching Montgomery Drive to 30th with a crash in the right lane. 95 southbound calling Academy to bridge from an earlier crash to tell the total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Acme. Hey, it's me, Food. From when the pros at Acme hand me off to when I'm cleared from your plate, we go through a lot together. As long as you keep showing up, I'll keep showing up fresh. So let's make some memories, friend. See you in the aisles. Sincerely, Food. Sincerely, Acme.
In a new series from the teams at Novel and iHeartRadio, this is the Fighty Pucks. We're going out on the ice with the most violent hockey team ever.
That was guerrilla warfare at its highest.
Were they heroes or villains? You decide.
You and I are going to have a problem. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Welcome to the jungle.
Listen to the Fighty Pucks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
With Seagram's Escapes, you can turn a daily chore into a vacation. An ordinary dinner into a lively cookout. Your Wednesdays into an early weekend. Or any situation into something extraordinary. Seagram's Escapes. Make happiness happen. Enjoy responsibly. 2023 Seagram Beverage Company, Rochester, New York. Flavored malt beverages.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-890-7878. That's 1-800-890-7878. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-890-7878. That's 1-800-890-7878.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Are you ready to make a real difference in Philly? Join the Philadelphia Police Department. Get fully paid medical, dental, and vision for you and your family, plus a salary of up to $85,000 in just 3 years. Apply at joinphillypd.com from today to July 16th.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D. Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. Oh my God! Now's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand. That's grand.
Enter now.
You heard the man. Get over to foxphlgambler.com and enter the keyword for your chance to win $1,000. Once again, foxphlgambler.com.
Here's Morrell, and the pitch is swung on, ground ball left side. Sosa smothers it, gets up, sets his feet, fires to first, and the ball game's over.
Yeah, baby. Short and sweet. Phillies going for the sweep this evening. 8:05 first pitch. John Jansen, Sean Brace, Daily Ticket with you here. Taijuan Walker on the mound this evening. Jansen, you really give me your thoughts on that. How you feeling about Mr. Walker this evening?
I actually feel great about Walker, and I do like the price as well. It's a little short because Hendricks is on the mound, and obviously Hendricks is pretty good, but I think Walker's been better. So I actually think it's minus 120 I saw. That's a pretty good price, I think, to pay for Walker.
All right, let's get on up to the Gambler Hotline. As I said before we went to break, making his Daily Ticket debut, this gentleman joined us at Citizens Bank Park at Xfinity Live last weekend for the Mike Powers production. That was a great broadcast, a lot of fun.
Oh, Powers production.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that sounds good,
great.
Right? That sounds good,
Yeah.
man. You know, we're a team over here. I'll have
Nice.
to make sure I put that TM that, man. So if you use
This was a Powers production.
he's got a team. Yeah, exactly. On the Gambler Hotline, Daily Ticket debut. This gentleman is killing it right now in the content game on YouTube and all things socials with the handle The Sheffield Shuffler. Peter joining us right now. First of all, good afternoon, Peter. Can't thank you enough for popping up on here today. Sean Brace, John Jansen, and a great job down at Xfinity Live talking Phils and Mets over the weekend, man. How you been?
Good, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. This isn't the first time I've called a Gambler Hotline, so glad to be back.
Nice. Very nice work there, sir. Very nice work. You're already off and running in our book. Yeah, exactly. Let's get some background, though,
It's actually
Peter.
on speed dial in this studio.
Yeah, exactly. We got issues. Yeah, like it's frowned upon in the NFL when, if you go to work and you bet on it, bet on anything.
Right. We got to talk about that, Steve.
We will. Here, we welcome it. All right. You're at the game. You're at the studio. We want you to hit send on a few wagers. And of course, give us the green light or the winning wagers over here as well. Peter, I want to get some background, though. Sheffield Shufflers. Explain it to us. Why'd you go with that handle?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Chicago. I used to live on the corner of Sheffield and Addison, which is right by Wrigley Field. Lived there for about 5 years. And, I'd come home after the bars and, stumbling home. And my buddy's like, there he is, shuffling home, the Sheffield Shuffler. And that was 10 years ago. And I always loved that name. I was like, man, I like what that represents. And I want to use that eventually. So I eventually used it for my brand that I started in 2020. I use that for all my handles. So that's my little brand. It's, it's kind of encapsulates, drunken debauchery with sports and all the good stuff that we love with gambling. You know how it is.
That's right, man. That's right. All right. So born and raised in Chicago, now in the area?
Yes. Yeah. I moved out here 2 years ago for my wife. She's from the South Jersey area. So, yeah, I've assimilated to the culture. I've been following the Phillies very closely the past 2 years. The Eagles, like I was telling you, it's very easy to like the Phillies with Castellanos and Schwarber, who won a World Series with the Cubs. So, you got one of the best players in Bryce Harper. And we'll talk about the Phillies. But, yeah, I've been following them the last 2 years. So I am a new fan of the Phillies. And I know some people take kindly to that and some others don't. You know what I'm saying? So when I talk to some of the Phillies fans, they say, oh, you're not a Phillies fan. And my mentality is, if I know more than you do, then who's the real fan? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I know more about your team, then shut your mouth.
No, the wagon's always open, number one. And especially when you come to the area, because that's the change. And you know what? You deserve credit, I think. Look, I'm not telling you to lose your Chicago ties and root against those teams. I would never expect that. But, man, this is what we do. And that's why sports were created for a reason, with the cities representing, or the teams representing the city, so everybody can come together. And of course, here in Philadelphia, that's true and true. But bottom line is, come one, come all, right? And I hate people that would gatekeep whether or not you could be a fan of my team or not.
And the thing is, Brace, too, is I think I paid my dues, okay? Because I came in and I didn't get a World Series and I didn't get a Super Bowl. Like, I was invested, man. Like, I love baseball, so I'm watching every game, heavily invested. October was a hell of a ride, man. That was so great, but it didn't get the World Series. So I feel I earned it a little bit when it does happen. I didn't just come in and it's like, you guys been waiting since 2008 and then, you got lucky, you just moved here. I think I paid a little bit of dues. I went through a little bit of heartbreak.
It's good. You felt the pain.
Yeah,
you had to feel the pain first.
That was some big time pain in the last
That
6
hurt.
months or 8 months, whatever it's been.
It's been brutal.
No, that's great, man. And
South Florida's actually been going through it too.
Yeah,
Sorry,
South Florida. Yeah, they know exactly how it feels. All right. Hey, look, you ain't got to explain anything to us, man. You know your stuff.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, and we can't thank you enough for popping up on here. Hey, just talk to us about YouTube. You do a lot of content on YouTube?
Most of my stuff's on social. It's on, Instagram and TikTok. I'll make a lot of videos. I'll do like, baseball breakdowns or, just stupid TikToks, and I'll throw those up on there as well. So I've been building my following mostly on Instagram, TikTok. I got a Twitter, it's, whatever. And then, I'll throw stuff up on YouTube as well. I got a podcast that I'll do, every week. So all over the place, you can see my stuff.
Excellent. Sheffield Shuffler, Peter joining us right now. You go by Pete or Peter?
You know what? I usually want to introduce myself. I say Peter, one, because I think it sounds more professional. And two, when I say Pete, they go, "Oh, Keith." And I'm like, no, it's not Keith. It's Pete. So it's the hard R that really separates it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Peter,
you don't just
you're the
introduce
man.
yourself as the Sheffield Shuffler.
I would, yeah. Hey, how you doing, Sheffield Shuffler? I like that. I do.
That does sound great.
It's a good moniker. I like that.
Although it does sound like a name for a serial criminal for something.
Oh, the Sheffield Shuffler at it again. Yeah, we gotta catch that guy.
There's the Shuffler on the news again.
Yeah, the Scranton Strangler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And I am from Scranton, but I am not the Scranton Strangler. I promise you that. All right. He is still out there trying to find them. All right, let's talk some Phils, man. Because as I said, Peter, you and I were texting earlier today, and I opened the show with it. This team has the look. They've been stocking up wins and knocking down series in the last 5 weeks. And of course, the long ball is happening right now. Home runs are plentiful. Please, it's June. I don't expect that to happen for the next, 4 months here. But as I said, in this, last 4 to 5 week stretch, what we're seeing right now is giving me the vibes of last year. Are you getting that vibe as well? Were you getting it? Or are you just still not there yet? You need to see a little bit more. Where do you stand right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like, don't let the boys get hot. Like, don't let us get hot. So obviously cold start to the beginning of the season, but yeah, over the last month, man, we have seen we talked about that when we were at Xfinity, the Mets and the Phils kind of just swapped. If you looked at their percentages for making the playoffs, the Mets were like 60-something%, and they shot down to 16, and it was inverse with the Phillies. I mean, they're putting on a show. So over the last couple months, I mean, we've seen it from our starting pitching. We saw Taijuan Walker over the month of June, a 1.5 ERA. He's been great. Huge turnaround from a 6.1 ERA in May. You love to see that. Obviously, these dog days of summer are starting to when these guys kind of start heating up a little bit. Seeing some great stuff from the bullpen. Gregory Soto, last 10 appearances, 1 earned run, top 9% in baseball in barrel percentages. So people are not squaring him up, obviously. He's also top 4% in expected slug. They're not getting extra base hits. That's exactly what you need from a heat-seeking, missile-throwing left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen. Craig Kimbrell, 1 earned run in the last 12 appearances. So bullpen has been looking good. Close down games when you're ahead. Do not blow games. I think it's just simple baseball. Win a series, win 2 out of 3. If you're up by the 7th, you got to win that game, and that's kind of what the Phils have been doing.
Yeah, no, well said. You're right. And the bullpen has been a strength this year. And starting pitching has really come around. And I think leading the charge, I think we can all agree with this, is Ranger Suarez. And I know it's a fun topic and a fun question in the middle of June, but let's just say, I mean, what we're seeing right now in these last 5 starts for Ranger Suarez, I think 3 earned and 35 innings pitched, whatever it may be. Definitely ace-like material. So it is a fun question to ask. I just want to know where you stand. If the playoffs did start right now, would you throw Ranger Suarez game 1? That's question A. And then question B is, what do you think Topper would do?
So I was thinking about this when you sent this to me. I would say that is definitely an option to go with Ranger for the fact that he's going to give you a solid 6 to 7 innings consistently. So like you mentioned, 4 earned runs in the last 5 starts in June, 1.08 ERA, phenomenal. But it's going deep into the game that's not setting you up to play catch up with your bullpen in a series. So that's a reason why I can see why Suarez would be a good game 1 option, because he is going to go deep into those games. Nola, I'm not sure we're going to get that. Could get 4, could get 5, then we're going to the bullpen. So I think that is a great option. I don't know what Topper would do, because there's some other things that he does that I don't understand why he does what he does.
It's Topper. Jansen, what do you think Topper would do?
What do I think Topper would do? Probably the opposite of whatever I think, because that seems what always happens, and then he's right, and then I'm wrong, and then I have to admit
he wouldn't start Nola game 1, would he?
He would not start.
It's Wheeler
or game 1,
and he would go Wheeler game 1.
I think Nola would always be game 2 unless it got really drastic. Unless it was very drastic.
I think that's malpractice. I do.
I don't think it is.
If the playoffs started right now and you're not pitching Ranger Suarez in game 1 or game 2, that's malpractice.
I just don't think he would do it. And besides, Ranger Suarez works in that role where you can bring him out of the bullpen. He's so good that you can do the Madison Bumgarner thing, and you can pitch him everywhere.
I think what Peter just said, I know what you're going to get. I know you're not trying to fight the battle for Topper, but what Peter just said, you know he's going to eat innings, and if he's giving you what he just gave you the last 5 starts, man, passing on him in game 1 or
game 1. It's going to be Zach Wheeler.
Understood, but he's got to start game 2 for me. All right. Do you have a question? I'm sorry.
I do, because Kyle Schwarber is always a hot topic of conversation around here because his average isn't good, but he still holds some value. As somebody who's seen him in Chicago and now watching him with the Phillies, any worry about Kyle Schwarber and the way he's been playing?
I think we know what we're going to get when Kyle Schwarber goes onto the field, right? We're going to take 40-something bombs a year with his average that comes with it, right? He's leading the team in home runs, 20 home runs this season so far. We're going to take that, whether or not we all agree he should be at the top lineup or he should be somewhere else. I think that's a little bit different. But I love Kyle Schwarber. I don't love his 185 average, but like I said, we're taking what he's given us, those laser shots, those leadoff home runs. And I get told that I look like him, so
you do have some similarities to you. Yeah, you do.
So I imagine you have to have a beard then.
He does have a beard. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a little chunky, 6-foot chunky dude with a beard. Yeah, I could pass.
That's funny.
Good pass.
Yeah, look, Schwarber is the man, and like as long as he's hitting bombs, I don't care what his average is either. But he's been struggling, so we'll see. Look, he's a guy that I want in my lineup. Of course, in June, but more so in September and throughout the course of the playoff stretch. That's a guy that pitchers fear, and I don't expect him to go 0 for 20 in crunch time. So hopefully, he gets hot and keeps it going and has a hell of a summer. All right, let's keep it going as far as the Phillies are concerned. And tonight, game 3, are we talking sweep? Are we breaking out the brooms up there on Sheffield Ave?
I don't know, because Kyle Hendricks is a vastly underrated pitcher. He doesn't throw over 90 miles per hour, right? He is a pure pitcher, right? He doesn't throw the ball. He pitches. He moves the levels, eye level up and down. He switches speeds. They call him the professor for a reason, right? So that being said, I do think he gets shelled. So I do think the Phils do sweep them today. He was coming off of 2 or 3 good starts. Depending what this lineup looks like, we didn't see what the lineup looks like yet. I'm not a huge fan of Josh Harrison. Just me personally, not a huge fan of it. One of the things that Topper does that I don't understand, let Bryson Stott play against left-handed pitchers. His splits are better against lefties anyways. So that guy needs to play second base every game. I don't care who's pitching, right-handed, left-handed pitcher. That's one thing that bothers me.
I like Stott. I'm a big Stott guy. Look, we would do things completely different than Topper. I think a lot of us would. We all have our preferences. Stott is a guy that, of course, he leads the league with two strike hits and sees a ton of pitches. He's nothing like Lenny Dykstra, just except that. Lenny would get up there, work the count, set everybody up for success, a prototypical somewhat of a leadoff hitter. I know that those things don't really exist 3 decades later. Everything's out the window, but man, I really love Stott at that spot, at one spot. And I definitely love him in the lineup as well. I'm all right giving these guys off some time. But bottom line is Stott is somebody that I want at the dish when it comes to crunch time, as I was saying with Schwarber as well. We'll see. Look, Hendricks is a even money play this evening, -120 for Taijuan Walker, 10, a big total of 10. You think we're going to see some fireworks tonight, Peter?
Yeah, usually when you see a number that high at Wrigley Field, wind is blowing out. So knowing living there, that wind howls, baby. So that goes straight out to dead center. Lazy pop flies turn into, bleacher seats, home runs. So definitely when the number's that high, we're definitely going to get some action, especially when you got pitchers like Kyle Hendricks on the mound. I think, there's going to be a lot of runs scored tonight.
It sucks, Peter, is long story short, I ended up hurting my back about 7 weeks ago. Jansen's sick of hearing it. But yeah, I heard it. And we were ready to go. One of the things we were going to do is we were going to this series. Well, not the series. We were going to Wrigley. For the first time, Jansen's never been there. I've never been there. We were going to Wrigley for Tuesday. We were going to fly out Monday, do the show in the hotel room, go to Wrigley for Tuesday night, fly home Wednesday, do the show here. That was the plan. And then, of course, I hurt my back, so that sucked.
It was just the back? That's the only thing? Okay, sure.
I've been to Chicago before, never been to Wrigley. What's the coolest thing about Wrigley in your mind?
So here's the thing. I used to live in Wrigley when it was Wrigleyville. Now it is Wrigley World. Okay? It is a monstrosity of businesses and billion dollar hotels across the street and bowling alleys and movie theaters and high price. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. They got the screen on Gallagher Way. Everyone can sit on the turf and watch. And it's amazing. Now they got a sports book inside.
Yeah, saw that.
But it's beautiful. Okay, and that's how it is now. But when I lived there, it was Wrigleyville. It was a stadium in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was very much of a neighborhood feel. Murphy's and Cubby Bear and, the beer-soaked floors and, the diner across the street. So all those stuff has been knocked down and renovated, and all these other businesses were put there. So I kind of see the two different worlds of what it was and what it is now.
Yeah.
And I love them both, honestly. I love them both. They're both really great. You would have had a great time. I encourage you to get out there sometime to go and see it, because honestly, it's one of the oldest stadiums. It's really beautiful. It's just special. And I know I'm biased, but I really do. I told my brother, if I pass before he does, I want my ashes spread on the field.
Ooh.
So
wow. Sheffield Shuffler. He's going to be sprinting across Sheffield, escaping from the cops, but that's all right. That's all right. We got a long way to go. Hey, Peter, fantastic stuff, man. I can't thank you enough for popping up on here. Of course, we'll be doing a lot more here in the future, but have yourself a great holiday weekend. We'll definitely touch base after that when we're back up in here. We got a long baseball season in front of you. We'll continue to follow you on all things Sheffield Shuffler. Like I said, man, appreciate a couple minutes today.
Appreciate it, boys. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Go Phils today, okay?
Go Phils. There he is.
Go Phils.
Max Hedrum on the way out.
Got the Mark Henry Jr. phone.
Yeah, of course, which is leading right up.
Guess who's coming up next?
Mark Henry Jr. No, what I would tell you is his connection. I think he is either down to shore or something.
Oh,
isn't everybody at the shore?
I was about to ask where, because obviously, if his wife is from South Jersey,
he said
there's got to be a beach town that they go to. So I wonder what a Chicago person feels about
actually
South
I'm
Jersey
lying
beach
because
town.
he said he could come into the studio if we want. I said nah.
So you're lying to us.
I did.
Not the first time.
I am not a liar.
Definitely not the. Oh, come on.
I don't lie.
Oh, come on.
Who lies? Dude, life's too short to be a fibber.
Lying has its advantages. Not to say do it all the time and lie about, big things, but it's okay to lie sometimes.
No, it's not.
I think it is. Not everybody needs to know the truth.
Fibbing is okay. Lying is not.
It's okay. You really want to just play with the gray area there?
Yes. Well,
it's a lie.
I'll give you, for instance, with my daughter. Daddy, can you play little, Baby Shark? And when we're in my car, and I say to her, that's only on mommy's phone.
Okay, that's
a fib.
But like somebody that
That's
also
not a
comes
lie.
to you with
That's
something
not life-changing. That's not earth-shattering.
And
That's
they're-
not, that's a fib.
like you've never had a friend where they come up to you with something and you should probably tell them to do the opposite of what they're trying to do, but that it's just gonna either break their heart or whatever the case may be, and you just lie. You know what? You're right. Go ahead. You just lie.
All right.
Because you don't want to deal with it.
I got my eyes on you, Jansen. Now I know you're a liar.
I'm a huge liar.
We got some pretty cool stuff happening in the halls here of iHeartRadio Philadelphia, and a huge shout out. Of course, we will be touching base with this gentleman tomorrow when he is actually at the Jersey Shore for all things Q102. But Buster, our good friend Buster, program director from Q102, afternoon host. We did the viewing parties. He's helped us out a ton over the last few weeks, man. Even then, son. But he got engaged. His lovely wife-to-be, Jackie, actually was hanging out with them on Saturday at Citizens Bank Park, and they just not tied a knot. Excuse me. He got down on one knee yesterday. Yeah, I got to get my phrases right. I'm a little rusty here. Got down on one knee, and she said yes. Nice rock, too. Nice work, Buster.
Jeez, that's the first thing you think of? Nice rock?
You have to see it, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, Buster's just crushing life right now.
He just bought a house.
Beach tour, married. I mean, he's got it all.
I need a
Buster's
job
crushing.
at Q102. Somebody's getting one, I think. What? No, okay.
I think Buster's got it locked down there. You can't get that.
No. Nor would I want. I don't know music like Buster. Buster's really good at what he does. Trust me. He is a radio. But anyways, congratulations to Buster and his lovely wife to be Jackie. And man, we'll be touching base, like I said, tomorrow on the block party. If you don't know, tomorrow we will be live from 3 to 6 p.m. streaming on Fox Sports The Gambler YouTube page and, of course, on the iHeartRadio app at foxphogambler.com. And we're doing a block party, 3 to 6 p.m. We're just going to I got a couple top 5 lists. We're going to play some music. It's just going to be really relaxed. We're going to talk some fantasy football, some Eagles conversation. Victor Williams is going to be calling in from Sea Isle, working on some other special guests as well. Maybe we can get our good friend Jari Evans to check in.
Oh, that'd be nice. He's been texting group chats.
It went through my mind.
He's been in the Sixers conversation.
Gerald might be coming through. I don't know what's his deal on Friday. I'm sure he's busy, but he's got the open invites out there. So also a big deal for us. We will be taking calls tomorrow. Now, here's the issue with that. I always say that we'll take calls, but then I only give the number out once, and no one's when you're not.
Then we get sidetracked, and then we don't even.
So you got to stay on me. All right, that's one.
Me, I'm probably going to be as occupied as you are.
You got to stay on me. That's
especially
one.
If there's food there and you want me to be focused.
2 is, it's going to be on the graphics. So as you're watching right now, The Gambler on YouTube, you'll see the telephone number. Give us a call as well. Mike Powers doing a great job helping us up there. Powers Production helping up behind the scenes. All right, great stuff from Peter. We will keep it moving, and of course, the NBA conversation rolls on. Mark Henry Jr., find out where he stands on everything that has transpired as far as the rumor mill is concerned in the last 24 hours. First of all, at the top of the list, Kyrie Irving to the Suns. Yes, you heard that right. Kyrie to the Suns. Does that make any sense in your mind? Does that improve the opportunity for the Phoenix Suns to win an NBA title? We'll find out what Mark Henry Jr. has to say. Of course, he is the host of the Tough Cover Show, and I believe he's a diehard Villanova fan. I want to say that he is. I need to stop saying I believe. I know he is. He's a Nova guy. So I want to know his thoughts on Kyle Neptune and everything that's going on with Cam Whitmore. And I will be upfront and say that I think that people are being a little strong with everything that's being put out there as far as, Cam Whitmore dropped because Kyle Neptune was bad talking him. Now, to what Mark was saying, and this is why it's great to have him on, because he can explain a little bit more, he's not really bogged down with that per se. There's a lot more that he is unhappy about with the transition of Jay to Kyle Neptune. And look, full disclosure, we're the home of Villanova basketball. I disagree with them. They got culture. It was year 1. Should they have had a better season? Okay, I'm not going to argue that.
They started playing better the second half. And that was
they did.
They were playing well enough that we were talking about, well, what if they did get in the tournament? Is that a team you want to play? All that stuff.
How do you not give him? And I'm not saying Mark isn't, but how do you not give a guy an opportunity to get his players in there? Allow him to run a program.
Well, yeah, to put his fingerprint on the program.
Correct.
Yeah.
as much
and
as he can.
That doesn't even just need to be players. I think one thing is he's hitting the transfer portal a lot harder than Jay Wright ever did, which is new, which is something you need to do, though.
I think the transfer portal pushed Jay Wright out, actually.
I completely agree. I pushed it back against that, but I found out later that I was completely wrong. That was something that Jay Wright didn't want to do.
No, I think it's a combination of both. Jay was just done. Jay wanted to retire. Jay had his sights set on retiring many years before.
But I think he was pushed out a lot quicker and was that moment hit quicker because of the transfer portal.
Remember, there was multiple coaches that did retire, right? Roy retired.
Yeah, well, they were a lot older than Jay, though.
That's fair. All right. Well, we'll get into all of that. Was that a good tease? I don't know. Daily Ticket rolling on Mark Henry.
Is any of this good? Who knows?
Back after
this. The Gambler. Phillies home for all things sports gambling.
Get your tickets now
at AXS.com
for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Coming back to Las Vegas.
2 nights.
September 22nd and 23rd.
1 stage.
At T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
This is the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Buy your tickets for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival now.
Before they sell out.
At AXS.com.
That's AXS.com.
Coach Sirianni, is Barbera the best?
Oh, Coach.
Boy, I guess.
Go Birds!
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Busy on the Walt Whitman into New Jersey, length of the bridge down to 42 south at Creek Road. Problem on 295 southbound. Crawling traffic from Democrat Road to Talmadge Station Road. Accident investigation has only the shoulder squeezing by. We're jammed up on the Schuylkill westbound Vare to the Vine Expressway from an earlier crash. Eastbound heavy Blue Route to Belmont, then jam Montgomery Drive to 30th with an accident on the shoulder. 95 northbound heavy approach to the Betsy Roster Bridge. Southbound So Coppin Bridge. All right, to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event starts now with savings on select PCs powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Plus, get deals on select accessories and free shipping on everything. Save now by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
In a new series from the teams at Novel and iHeartRadio, this is the Fighty Pups. We're going out on the ice with the most violent hockey team ever.
That was guerrilla warfare at its highest.
Were they heroes or villains? You decide.
You and I are going to have a problem. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Welcome to the jungle.
Listen to the Fighty Pucks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
CEOs You Should Know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
My name is Amy Cowperthwaite. I'm the CEO of Avkin Incorporated. Avkin is a company that sells wearable simulators in nursing education. Simulation is the idea of training people with hands-on care without having to do it on a real patient for the first time. When they're learning how to do different procedures or different interactions, that they are practicing on a live person using these wearable simulators to create that truly authentic experience in simulation education. All of our products have sensors inside. So if based off of the care that's being provided, the patient can respond, those sensors alert at the appropriate times to react and respond. So my very first job that was not on my resume, I worked at a fast food chain called Roy Rogers. I was 16 years old, and I can remember being very frustrated one day and telling my father that I just wanted to quit. And he said to me, "Don't burn your bridges." I didn't know what that meant at the time, so I asked him. That phrase has stuck with me that you're always to leave with a good taste in your mouth, that you're always to make sure that you're fulfilling your responsibilities and what you've promised, and that you are not just emotionally reacting to something that's happening in the immediacy. Take some time to think about it and make sure you're doing the right thing. If people want more information about Avkin, the website is www.avkin.com.
Comcast Business, cybersecurity, internet, and mobile, all from one provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
When you can find everything you need at prices you can afford, that's totally Target. It's that feeling when quality Good and Gather ingredients on the barbecue bring family around the table. Or when favorite day after practice snacks let you celebrate the whole team for less. It's when saving more on Up and Up sunscreen means more fun in the sun. And when Target Circle Rewards program gives you more perks on what you buy most and is always free to join, that's totally Target.
Hey man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Hot air, so hot in here, so hot air. Oh, want a little bit of, and a little bit of, just a little bit of, I was like, good gracious, ass bodacious, flirtatious, trying to show patience. I'm waiting for the right time to shoot my steam, you know, waiting for the right time to flash them keys. And I'm leaving, please believe in, me and the rest of my heathens. Checking out a lock at the top of the Four Seasons. Penthouse, rooftop, birds I'm feeding. No deceiving, nothing up my sleeving. No teasing, I need you to
get up on her. It's a Daily Ticket, Fox Sports Radio, the Gambler, Sean Brace, John Jansen here on a Thursday. Getting ready for the holiday weekend, and boy, it's going to be a long one. So that's why we're doing it the right way tomorrow at our block party. Jansen, this is a block party top 5 jam easily. You're a big Nelly guy? Did you have did you put a Band-Aid underneath your left eye? Wear one wristband? No.
I mean, Nelly's cool. I like Nelly. He was good in The Longest Yard.
Nelly's talented. There's no doubt about that.
Do you know who's really, really talented?
I watched The Longest Yard the other day. Dan Patrick wasn't a bad cop, I thought.
Wait, Dan Patrick was what? I know he was in it. Right?
Yeah, he was the cop.
Oh, okay.
Chasing Sandler.
So, I did not know that.
Yeah, go ahead.
But also, I watched a movie last night, and a guy who's really talented, Andre 3000, is a damn good actor.
Well, what movie was it?
It was Showing Up. It's an independent movie that's produced by A24 with this director that's been around for almost 2 decades now, but her movies are fantastic. It's just not getting a lot of traction, but she had another movie come out that just really hasn't been talked about, and here comes Andre 3000 in it, and he was just awesome.
Yeah.
He was a side character, but just fantastic.
Very talented. Also,
yeah, he is extremely talented.
Also in Four Brothers, which I think is one of the worst movies ever.
It's not a great movie.
Joining us right now on the Gambler Hotline, host of the Tough Cover Show already. I'm hearing some echoes. I'm hearing some feedback.
Yeah, where is Mark?
Yeah, where are you?
Is
Mark,
he at a block party right now?
Mark Henry Jr. joining us. Hello, Mark.
Coming at you from 95 South. How do I sound?
That's fine. Are you by the area where the bridge fell apart?
No, not even close. But it's funny that when I was on that, I went over it. I was on it with someone, and we were like, "Was it that little patch of black that you just went over?" Like,
you don't even notice it.
I thought it was going to be more than it was.
Also, I want to put this out here, and I really want to be careful because I'm not trying to come off cold, but I saw a comedian make a joke about this, and it really hit home. And if you saw it, then you know exactly where I'm going. But
the Philly captain?
No. This gentleman, I forget, so I'm not stealing his material, but he was like, yo, we do know somebody died, right? And then he's like, next thing you know, you got Gritty coming over and doing a dance on this dude just died 12 days, and next thing he's rolling right over.
Well,
I'm
you
like,
put it like that.
I'm like, Damn, man, that is terrible. Hopefully the family will be getting taken care of. I know that they're going through a lot, and I'm just going to move on because there's no transition from there.
No.
Anyways, Mark Henry Jr. joining us right now. Mark, how we feeling about the slop right now, my friend, on 95?
It's coming slow. I guess the slot's going to have to be via trade this year, it feels like, because there's just not as many free agents available that are of note. I think that it's always the NBA, though. It's never what you expect. That's what makes the off season. It's always the moves that kind of shock you. And obviously, we don't know what those are going to be yet. But, it looks like Harden to Phillies locked in. It looks like Fred VanVleet to Houston is looking pretty strong. Middleton's probably staying in Milwaukee. So a lot of the big pieces seem to be falling where we expected them. But that's not really what we're looking out for. It's what's happening with Dame Lillard. What's going to happen with Karl Anthony Towns? What's going to happen with, are the Pacers going to make a move? They have a ton of two guards and threes. So there's a lot of things like that to watch out for more than where is someone signing, I guess.
As far as Harden is concerned, of course, we're going to start with the Philly connection here. As far as Harden is concerned, do you foresee possibly Morey making some moves as far basically his hands tied? It's a sign and trade. But, if that was to take place, could he make that happen because he's got a relationship with James Harden? Putting the numbers to the side, I know the math is what really matters here. But bottom line is Daryl Morey can get creative, and these contracts are often shifted in NBA front offices. So who knows? But is there a possibility in your mind that James Harden signs and Daryl Morey works a trade with the Houston Rockets?
No. I've been saying for a while that I think it's a pretty done deal, and I haven't really heard the reasonable alternative in a sign and trade that has me at all interested. Houston could trade me their whole roster pretty much, and it wouldn't have as much value as James Harden could have next year for the Sixers. Houston's full of a ton of guys that we just don't know if they impact winning or not. So Houston, I don't have any interest in, and if Houston wants them, they'll just trade for him outright, or they'll sign him outright. I mean, the Clippers, I just don't know why the Clippers would rather have James Harden than Paul George. So that's where I kind of struggle with that. And then if you're not getting Paul George in a sign and trade with the Clippers, then there's no point in doing the move. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. At this point, it's just coming down to what does the Harden deal that comes down the pipe look like, assuming he doesn't opt into the option today, which I don't think he will. So I think if there's probably a 1+1 or a 2+1, it comes down to, how much do they believe that there are alternative options out there? It's starting to sound like there really aren't. And maybe this Houston rumor was smoke all along, which is kind of what I've been saying for about since Christmas on a radio show. But I think that the leverage is back in the Sixers' hands, and it's exactly what James Harden wanted to avoid on Christmas when he started leaking those rumors about him going back to Houston and all those things. I think that he was trying to avoid exactly the situation he was in last year, where there were no suitors that had cap space, and he's in the exact same situation again.
Yeah, no, you've been on that, and I know I've been definitely disagreeing. I thought for sure he was going to end up in Houston because everything you're hearing from behind the scenes and what it's like to be James Harden in Houston sounds like it's a lot of fun. And the Houston Rockets with attendance, and why not just go close up your career down there in Houston? Who knows? We're talking to Mark Henry Jr. driving down 95. Let's talk about the big rumor from earlier today. Kyrie getting a secret meeting with the Phoenix Suns. Is there anything
secret meeting that's not secret at all?
Yeah. Is there anything there for you on that one? And how intriguing is the thought to Mark Henry Jr. of foursome, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Kyrie Irving?
Well, you'd have to take the minimum, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know how much to even pay attention to that report.
Well, that's good. That's another sign and trade because DeAndre Ayton was the name that was rumored, and again, Like I said, these teams make these things work. I've been hearing about the New Orleans Saints, and salary cap hell, yet they sign anybody and everybody. We can go down the list, any sport. These teams can make these things happen. I know it's a little different in the NBA with the contracts and all that, but, they can get crafty.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what the motivation for the Mavs would be there. If I had to make an assumption on what I think is happening, Kyrie wants as much money for as long term as possible from Dallas, and he's saying, "Hey, if you're going to offer me like $25 million instead of $35 million or instead of $40 million, then I will just go take the minimum elsewhere or have fun with KD and Beal and all this stuff, or I will take a discount and make you trade me for Ayton, I guess." But the Mavs could also just look at him and say, like, "Yeah, we're not going to do that, dude." Like, that's how simple that could be. Like, DeAndre Ayton's a negative asset, so I don't know why the Mavs would be like, "Yeah, Kyrie, we'll help you go to Phoenix 4 months after we just traded a whole bunch of assets for you." So I think it's probably just negotiation and Kyrie trying to squeeze as much as possible out of Dallas. But I will say, Kyrie, if you're taking a discount to go somewhere, or if you're doing a whole sign and trade thing to go somewhere, you were made in a basketball laboratory to be LeBron James' sidekick. Go do it again in Los Angeles. I would much rather see Kyrie and LeBron team back up than Kyrie on the ball don't stop Suns with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and DeAndre Ayton, or maybe not DeAndre Ayton. But it just would not be fun basketball to watch. I would much rather see him go to LA and kind of spread the power a little bit of the scoring in the Western Conference. But I think he's back in Dallas.
Well, that's it. I think it would be fun to watch them. I do, just from the hate, that's that angle. And now I have a villain that I'm going to hate watch. I wouldn't want to see Phoenix win at all.
I did see a funny tweet on it. Well, I can't remember who tweeted it, but someone said, "Well, now Kyrie wants to believe in the Suns rotation."
Nice one. Actually, I tweeted that at Sean_Brace. Thank you. We're talking to Mark Henry Jr. All right, give me something, Mark. I mean, is there anything that's catching your attention from big names? Will a team come out of nowhere? Give me something over the next
Sixers,
72 hours. The 76ers' hands are tied. What are you hearing? I need something other than Andre Drummond, for the Chicago Bulls. Like, give me something that you think is going to take place over the next 72 hours, something big.
I don't know when it'll take place. And yeah, the Sixers' hands are tied. I agree there. I don't think you should be expecting anything of the Sixers except stuff on the fringes. The things I'm watching for with the Sixers are just how many bird rights guys can you keep. Like, I'd love to keep all of Jalen McDaniels, George Niang, Shake Milton, James Harden, Paul Reed if possible. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. It seems like you're probably going to lose Shake. You're probably going to keep Paul, and you'll probably have to decide to keep one of McDaniels or Niang if I'm reading the reports correctly. But yeah, and the Tobias Harris thing, as much as I want to drive Tobias Harris to like any city of his choosing outside of Philadelphia for a bag of chips, as much as I want to do that, I do think that there might be some value in waiting until the trade deadline and waiting until a team has something to play for. And they're staring at this second apron right in the face next year. They're already bad halfway through the year, and they go, "All right, let's treat this guy with 3 or 4 years left of money on the deal, and let's take back an expiring in Tobias for 3 months." So I think there's a chance that you're just going to get blamed.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We got something on the timeline.
This just in, James Harden is opting into his $35.6 million deal for next season in order for the 10-time All-Star and the Sixers to work together on a trade out of Philadelphia.
Yep, boom. There it is. Look, that was a rumor that was out there yesterday or 2 days ago, and I said, well, I could see it somewhat just because of the relationship that Daryl Morey and James Harden have. So who reported that?
Shen.
Yeah, there you go. Your thoughts, Mark Henry Jr., live on the air.
I probably hate it. Unless it's for Paul
Woj's reporting it too. It's expected that Harden has played his last game for Philadelphia.
Wow. Why do you hate it, Mark Henry Jr.?
What's the option?
Well,
what are we getting?
What do we know right now? Like, what do you know about James Harden? What do you know about this 76ers team currently constructed with their hands tied? They're not winning an NBA championship, so why not change it up?
I disagree. I think Nick Nurse was a huge addition, and I think this team with Nick Nurse would have beaten the Boston Celtics in the second round as opposed to Doc Rivers. I also have been arguing that I think if Tobias Harris was traded for a couple pieces, whether that be now or at the deadline, that I think this team absolutely had a chance and to move on and to do whatever. And I don't want to get all, we've done this conversation a few times. They're not.
Well, there's a difference between doing this conversation a few times and then doing it right now the facts are there now.
But there is no fact. That's the thing. What are we trading him for? Are we trading him for Paul George? Or are we
it's speaking of that, the Los Angeles Clippers have expressed interest. This from Kyle Neubeck.
But so I hope it's not for Norm Powell, Robert Covington, and Terrence Mann. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we got a lot of people on the timeline right now freaking out. It's a good mix, 50-50 here. Of course, I understand where you're coming from, Mark, and that's where I stood, where I said I want playmakers. Harden's a playmaker. I'm not willing to lose James Harden just for the sake of something different. You got to. I believe in Joel Embiid. I want to give Nick Nurse a chance in year one. As you just said, Mark, this team was right there in the thick of it with the Boston Celtics, who, oh, by the way, are the favorite to win the NBA title this upcoming season. So I just felt like a little bit more growth from Joel Embiid, and that's not asking too much. And for him to understand what just took place cannot happen again. He's got to be, as far as, jokers out there playing four quarters and, just not dealing with anything conditioned like Joel Embiid's got to be that guy this upcoming season. I don't know. I wanted to see that, but apparently there's something happening behind the scenes that James Harden is going to be out, and now they're going to replace him some way, somehow. I would hope it's going to be for a playmaker. Paul George is the name that's being discussed, though.
By the way, Paul George is a million times better than any other name that's going to be discussed. If it's Paul George, I'm all in. But I'm worried that it's not Paul George. I'm worried it's a collection of salaries, and that would be a concern. So they need to replace him with a legitimate option. But if you can get Paul George, that makes a lot of sense from a team building perspective to have Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid together. That makes a lot of sense. And obviously Paul George would help a lot in a Boston matchup if you're keeping Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum together. That at least gives us an option on one of them. I've wanted Paul George on the Sixers for years and years, but I'm worried. To me, that seems like it would be an insane move for the Clippers. I don't understand what even slightly the motivation would be for the Clippers to trade Paul George for James Harden.
Bobby Marks checking in. Harden is not extension eligible because he signed a 2-year contract last offseason. He is an unrestricted free agent in 2024. Talking about James Harden, so that's got to be a shining light for anybody in the Houston Rockets organization. But again, they're not bringing Harden in, for one season to win an NBA title, in my opinion. It was more along the lines of putting butts in seats and come on back to Houston. I don't know. We're still waiting to hear exactly that. All right. Well, again, very interesting stuff on the timeline right now. A lot of people are split. Mark, looking forward to seeing what exactly takes place after this. But, man, it's great to have you on, of course, while this broke and went live. Anything on the way out, sir?
How about them Phils, huh?
How about them Phils?
Maybe we shouldn't have quit on them 87 times throughout the season. They're pretty good.
Love it.
I think they're the second best team in baseball over the last 3 weeks. I think they're the fifth best team in baseball over a 2-month stretch now.
It's crazy.
But yeah, they suck. They're not serious, but they stink.
No, man. Come on. Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. Get out the mud. Get off the timeline. There's too much negativity on the timeline about the Phillies. I'm right there with you. Mark Henry Jr., always a pleasure. Host of the Tough Cover Show every Saturday from 11 to 1. Mark, have yourself a great holiday weekend. Hey, you coming in for the block party tomorrow?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not coming in now.
Boo.
We'll be in studio on Saturday.
That's all right, yeah. Gambler Country, we out?
Paul George Country, let's ride.
I like it. There he is, Mark Henry Jr. from a tunnel on 95, but that's all right. Always great to get Mark's thoughts on exactly what's taking place in the NBA. All right, breaking news. Once again, according to Shams, James Harden is opting out of his $35.6 million option with the 76ers, and the sides will work together to explore a trade out of Philadelphia. This is expected. It is expected that James Harden has played his last game with the 76ers. So now what? That's the question. And that's where Mark was, where he's like, I don't want to go. He is definitely siding with James Harden returning to the 76ers. I could go both ways, man. I really could. You know, like I said, I want playmakers around Joel Embiid. I do. But James Harden is not the only playmaker out there, right? James Harden had a pretty good season. Came up extremely small in big spots, which he's known to do. Is that something that you can believe that, you know what, Nick Nurse is going to fix that next year and this team is going to push on? No, I don't think so.
I mean, the thing is, you could obviously have a different offense and you don't need necessarily a player like James Harden to make things work.
Woj. The Clippers and Knicks are expected to be among the teams that engage with the Sixers on a potential James Harden.
Jalen Brunson. Bring him back home. You wouldn't get Brunson. Who would you get from the Knicks? What are you going to get, like Julius Randle?
Wow. This is awesome. Now we're cooking, baby. Now we're cooking. The thing is,
you know, I always worry. I don't worry about Embiid with Harden gone. I actually worry about Maxey more than anyone.
Why?
Because Maxey felt like he needed the point guard. He needed somebody to facilitate him, and he could just let talent take over. And Paul George wouldn't be that. And Paul George would be the one bringing the ball up, I would assume.
Yeah, who cares about that?
But I do care about that, though. Like, what is Maxey? Is Maxey going to be as good without James Harden, or at least a player of his caliber that can do what he does?
You know, look, you know where I stand on Tyrese Maxey, and here's what I'm going to say.
But that's I just question what fits would be right for the Sixers.
I'm not the guy that is James Naismith Jr. over here. But there have been some really good opinionated.
James Naismith?
I don't know. There have been some really good opinionated people on ESPN and the other networks that have said as much and that are as high on Tyrese Maxey. And no, I'm not talking about Kendrick Perkins. So there are plenty of people that see the light with Tyrese Maxey that I'm seeing as well. You're not quite on that level with me. I think Tyrese Maxey is a guy that you can go ahead and raise the expectations, and he's going to meet them next year. Is he the perfect ball handler? Is he a perfect point guard? Hell no. Can Nick Nurse work with that and maybe make something happen differently for this upcoming
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you could change your offense up, and Nick Nurse is smart enough that you could find ways to make Maxey work. But let's be honest, Maxey's production got a lot better when James Harden was in the lineup, and I mean significantly better. So, and it's not to say that it's got to be James Harden, but you know, to lose that kind of a passer and that was doing things as well for Joel Embiid and really for Maxey, you know, things are going to be different. And it's not to say it can't get better. I just caution how much it can get better. But maybe it's the right thing to do because you're never going to be that good with Harden anyway. Like, so I'm landing on this. Harden is the best option for the Sixers. I don't see anything trade whatever could be better for the Sixers, but also it's not going to get them where they need to be. And just because it's the best option doesn't mean it's the right one.
Well, look, I look at where we're at right now and what we just went through this past offseason or this past season, coming up short just again. And it's not panic mode to sit here and say, I don't want that again. I want new players in here. But I feel like we already know how that song ends, right? And I'm not the only one. And that's something that has to come into your mind as an organization, just how lethargic this fan base is going to be once this season starts, regardless of the hype videos you put out there, regardless of what the preseason scores may be, regardless of what James Harden and Joel Embiid say. Bottom line is, if you roll this team back in here that lost in the second round, that just completely quit in Game 7 and in the final 4 minutes of Game 6, you have to take that, you know, as under advisement as far as the front office is concerned. I don't know. I think that's definitely got to be something in their minds. But then again, this is Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey's operation. They're not caring about ticket sales or Josh Harris. Josh Harris is doing all right.
He's doing fine.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, I think he's doing fine.
Come on, man. Give me some heat. What's on the timeline? Who else we traded for? Who's on the Knicks? I need to know.
I mean, here we go. Here we go. Buckle up.
Yeah.
The block party's going to be fun tomorrow.
The block party is going to be fun. All right. Well, why don't we open up the phone lines? You want to open up the phone lines?
No. I can't take any conspiracy theories right now. We finally got actual hard news, an actual report. I don't need any more rumors now to follow.
I saw Paul George at the Wawa on City Line Avenue, Brace. Why not? All right, Paul George. Let's just kick that around for a second.
Yep.
Paul George ends up with Joel Embiid. Where do we stand on Paul George? Could I go first? I just am not comfortable with his injury history.
I would not be comfortable as well. Not comfortable at all with that.
I want to get behind Paul George, and I believe Paul George. I think I've argued about Paul George in years past where I was wrong.
He's a great player.
Absolutely. Numbers back it up, but just give me the numbers as far as health is concerned. This is not a guy that you can count on, and that's an issue. That's a big-time issue. So, but this is the spot that they're in. Right? It's not like, hey, well, they can go out and sign anyone. They got to make some things happen here. And this team that is currently constructed right now will not be the team currently constructed in a month, will not be the team currently constructed in January, and most likely won't be the team in next April. Possibly with some changes here and there. You never know. Injuries happen, so on and so forth. But Paul George instead of James Harden, it doesn't work like that. What else are we talking here?
Yeah. Maybe, I mean, to entice more, because we know they want to get rid of Tobias would. And I don't know how it would work with money and obviously salary cap and all that stuff like that. But, I mean.
The Clippers and Sixers have been in contact this week. League sources told Yahoo Sports. Where Los Angeles among wide-ranging talks on Marcus Morris and Norman Powell have approached Philadelphia on separate ideas of trading for James Harden and Tobias Harris. Ooh.
So, James Harden and Tobias Harris. Ooh. Right.
Ooh.
But you're not getting Paul George back in that?
Chris Haynes, with James Harden opting into his $35.6 million player option, the 76ers to initiate trade dialogue, the LA Clippers are the team to monitor. Excuse me. So I'm thinking Clippers here over Knicks. Where did the Knicks come?
That is, I'm not going to lie, that's concerning when you see the ideas of trading James Harden, Tobias Harris, and Paul George's name is nowhere to be found in that report. It's just Marcus Morris and Norman Powell. That would be gross.
Can I toss a name out there?
That would be gross.
Can I toss a name out there?
Go ahead.
Kawhi Leonard.
I question whether or not that guy's going to be playing basketball again. Let alone should the Sixers trade for him. That guy's knee injuries are way too much to take on.
Oh my Lord. This is awesome. We are in the thick of it, ladies and gentlemen. It's 5:00. Fox Sports Rated to Gambler. Sean Brace, John Jansen. We're not going anywhere. Hold on.
I just don't think this ends up well. I don't know. I think this is going to be obviously, Harden wants to be out of here. You get him out of here, and maybe it is better long term. But I just don't see in any way the Sixers getting better from this. By the way, Paul George isn't going to make them any better. Paul George is great. I love Paul George. I think Paul George is a great player. But Paul George also is injured, and I think you would have holes in this team that are separate from the holes you would have on this team with James Harden. It's different, obviously, kind of gaps that you would need to fill. It's not like Paul George is a young player anymore. Paul George is the same age as James Harden, by the way. And Paul George, I say, has a worse injury history than James Harden does.
Yes, absolutely does.
And it's not like Paul George is just lighting things up for like 30 points a game. He's playing well. He's a great player. I don't want to poo-poo that idea so much. But, Sean, do you think Embiid and Paul George, does that make you think, oh, we're winning the East? No. So is that, to me, that's just, you're in the same spot. You just move players. And I guess Paul George is easier to root for than James Harden.
I love people texting me. Harden out. Oh, really? You know I'm on the air?
I want to get this out of the way real quick. Maxi's not a point guard. You can't do that. You're not going to do that. You can't do that.
It's
positionless
basketball for the last 15 years.
Okay, but you need somebody to handle the ball, though.
He can
Positionless
handle
no
the
matter
ball.
What. You can have a 6'10" ball handler. He can't handle the ball, though.
I'm not worried about that
but
at
you have
all.
to be worried about that.
He can improve.
You have because your best player is a guy who is playing inside. You need a passer to get him the ball.
He can improve.
You need a passer. No, he can't. He can't. He literally can't do that.
Nick
Not
Nurse.
a part of his game. Like Tyrese Maxey will never be that player. Ever be that player. So if you think Maxey's all of a sudden going to have 10 assists a game, or if he's even going to be this really good passer, all of a sudden,
I don't want that.
Not.
I don't want that.
He's not. But that's what you need, though. You're going to have to put Maxey in that position, and he's just not going to be that guy.
You need people to play damn good basketball in crunch time.
Okay.
Playoffs.
But damn good basketball is also getting your offense moving and in motion, and the ball handler does that, and they don't have one. They wouldn't have one in that circumstance. Maybe Paul George can do it well enough.
I understand that he's not the prototypical.
It's not just prototypical. It's just he literally does not have that skill. He can't do it.
I totally
disagree. He tried to do it with the second team. They did the second bench unit with him, and he
Oh,
could not do
yeah,
it.
Doc
He couldn't
Rivers.
do it.
Doc Rivers, too. Nick Nurse is a better coach. He's got a system. He's got a way. Again,
That doesn't translate to Maxey just gaining those traits.
really the detractor.
He just
and all
doesn't have
this
that.
is Tyrese Maxey handling the basketball, bringing it up
because
the court.
if you want to look at what the Sixers would be after this trade, I mean, it's something that's going to hold them back. You need somebody that can do that. You know why the Nuggets can work? Because their ball handler is also their center and best player, and he's a great passer, and he gets Jamal Murray involved, and he gets guys like Aaron Gordon involved. You always need that. LeBron James, that was his best asset. You know, you have all of that. And I know I just pointed out two great players, and not Tyrese Maxey's not that, but the Sixers don't have that. Your best player is Joel Embiid, and he's not that kind of player. So you need somebody else to do it, and that's what Harden did.
All right, joining us right now, Gambler Hotline, our Sixers insider, of course, the great Sean Bernard. Sean Bernard, appreciate you popping up on here, my friend. Busy day. Of course, you just saw the latest, the breaking news. According to Shams, the 76ers are working on a trade. Possibly Clippers, possibly Houston, possibly the Knicks. Who knows? But Harden apparently has played his last game for the 76ers. Your thoughts?
Yeah, never a dull moment with this franchise and with this league. I am pretty surprised and caught off guard by this. I feel like all signs were pointing towards James Harden being back with the Sixers to some extent. I do think this is the best option for both sides. On the positive side from the Sixers perspective is they really couldn't afford to lose this financial slot and this top-end max kind of player option. But on the negative side, I'm really not sure what the market for James Harden is. It is nice that there's names popping up already, but we're in another spot where Daryl Morey absolutely has to nail this trade, and I'm just not sure where the market is with it.
Well, he's had quite some time to work on this deal, right? This isn't something that just sprung up on him. In my thoughts, I think that we all knew that the deadline was today between 5 to 6 p.m. The rumors were out there. I know that everybody was gung-ho, and I'm not trying to say I had this because I didn't. It's a trade. But bottom line is everybody was gung-ho that he was returning. Here we are. I think that they've been trying to connect the dots. I didn't really look at it as far as smoke was concerned. I thought that he wanted to end up back with Houston Rockets.
They were trying everything. He just doesn't want to be here. That's all it is. He is the one who made that.
So I am with you as far as Daryl Morey and what he's shown us. But look, when it comes down to it, Sean, the fact is this team did not get over the hump. James Harden played his best. James Harden had probably one of the best seasons that James Harden could have had in the Sixers uniform, coming up short in a few spots, right? Other than in the 7-game series against Boston. Hell, he had 2 great games, though. Look, you got the best of James Harden. That's not enough, right? Like, they weren't going to advance to an Eastern Conference or an NBA Finals with James Harden. So why should we be afraid of change, I guess, is the big picture question I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that. And that's where my kind of hesitancy to re-sign him and I guess frustrations in it, that it felt these Sixers were back into a corner. This is the way out, that if you can find a way to improve from here. The Clippers are the hot name that popped up. If there's some sort of Paul George swap, that's what makes the most sense to me. Paul George is also a player that doesn't come without the risks himself. And I think James Harden is a spot where isn't feeling valued by the Sixers specifically and as the league as a whole. And if you want to be a James Harden guy, you can absolutely make the argument of that he delivered on what he was asked to do last year. Led the NBA in assists. He did have those 2 games in the playoffs where he scored 40-plus points. We did get the best version of James Harden that we're really going to see at this point in time. But you're right, that's not enough for the Sixers. That's not what they need. I think from a roster construction standpoint, that it is now time to get a true wing, get a Paul George-like player, get guys like that, and take the training wheels off Tyrese Maxey. Let's find out if this guy is that time to unleash him? I think that's the storyline going into this year once this trade is finally finalized and they figure out what the direction is.
John Jansen's ranting and raving about Tyrese Maxey. So what is your big issue with the fact of handing the keys to Tyrese Maxey to a point? My thing is this, and I'm not trying to argue, but I just don't understand why we can't believe that Tyrese Maxey can improve and take another step up. And oh, by the way, Nick Nurse is a much different coach than Doc Rivers. I don't know what that necessarily means, what he'll be asked to do next year. But Jansen, explain it a little bit. I'm trying to put words in your mouth, but you don't think Tyrese Maxey can run a team, essentially, right?
No, I don't think he can run an offense. I don't think he can be essentially a ball handler. And the Sixers wouldn't have that on their roster. Maxey just isn't capable of that. Maxey's a scorer. That's what Maxey is. Maxey's a flat-out, and a damn good one, a flat-out scorer. When it comes to ball handling, when it comes to setting your offense in motion, when it comes to passing and getting maybe the ball to Embiid, who's going to need that because he's not one who can bring it down himself, the Sixers would not have that. And so I'm concerned that if they do that with Maxey, Maxey would just not improve enough in that area that it'd be worth it. Now, it might help because I think Paul George could relieve some of that a little bit, but I think it's all on Maxey, and I don't think he can succeed in that role.
Sean Bernard, you say what?
Yeah, I think that's the question that we're going to find out this season. And one of the interesting things from my perspective is the first Nick Nurse press conferences. That's one of the things that he mentioned was getting Maxey in some downhill sets, having him make decisions out of the pick and roll, things like that. We don't truly know if Tyrese Maxey can be a point guard yet. And I personally am done putting a cap on what he can be as a player because he's proven us wrong time in and time out at this point. The rep against him coming into the league was he wasn't a good enough shooter. It took him maybe 2 seasons before he was up there with the best of the NBA. If we put it on him to learn how to be a better playmaker, to run an offense, I believe that he can do it. We're going to find out if that is the case. And also, we can't rule out, I think regardless, with James Harden presumably leaving at this point, there's going to be some sort of additional point guard brought in. I don't think we're going to throw 100% of the playmaking and running an offense responsibilities on him. There will be another guy in the picture, but it does dictate long-term what you're looking to pair with Maxey in the future of this team, whether he is a point guard model or he is just that scorer, which is still a very useful guy to have on your team.
Interesting. All right. Well, last one for me. I know you're up. You're doing some things, Sean. We can't thank you enough for popping up on here. All things 76ers and NBA for us here on The Gambler. Sean_Bernard1. Tobias Harris, should we expect that this is going to go hand in hand? Is this are we going to wake up tomorrow morning and this roster is going to be completely changed in your opinion?
Well, I think the dots that should be connected with that one is the reason that the seeming lack of traction in the Tobias Harris deal occurred is because this was in the works with James Harden. They absolutely have to go hand in and hand out. And the way that I kind of see the pieces falling is James Harden still at this point in his depreciated value or regression in his career, however you want to word it, is still the bigger ticket item on the agenda. So that will be the first piece move. That will be the bigger splash in the trade market. I kind of see things going as Harden being for that second piece that the Sixers are in search of. And I think Tobias will find more of the complementary guys to fill in the gap. So I do still see both these guys being traded. I honestly think this increases the chance of a Tobias trade happening before the season starts. But I do think Harden will be the bigger chip and that we will see that storyline play out first.
All right, last question. Get your crystal ball out. And this is always a fun one because it could go many different ways. But
I have no idea how this is going to go.
After today is through and this free agency period is through right here, right now, will the Sixers' odds increase for an NBA championship or decrease in your opinion?
I think increase. I think they give themselves a better opportunity here. And I mean, this all purely comes down to what the deal that materializes is. If they do have a chance at a big ticket guy, I think Paul George is a guy that moves the needle on where my mind goes. There's other options out there. I mean, the Knicks I've seen are players that want to get involved. There's nothing that particularly entices me there. There could be a Hail Mary type of deal, tried to throw at Dame Lillard, things like that. But I do think the bottom line was that this Sixers team and this core was kind of tapped out for what they are. There needs to be kind of an injection of life or a new angle or a new attempt at running things back. So I think that's what we're going to get. I think there's going to be renewed optimism, and I think the odds are going to reflect that.
Sean Bernard, you the best, man. Appreciate a couple minutes here. We'll obviously be touching base with you, but we'll be following along on your socials at Sean_Bernard1. We got a big one tomorrow. Looking forward to it. But, man, thank you for a couple minutes here. And, hey, look, if we're here at 6 o'clock and the trade goes down, I might buzz you back, all right?
All right, perfect. Sounds good, and I will catch you on the video.
My man, Sean Bernard's in for the block party. Let's go. Awesome. All right, there it is. Block party tomorrow, 3 to 6 p.m.
Can't wait.
All right, we will be live talking all of this. Roy Burton, Sean Bernard, Luke
I think it's a good block party going, like a good sports discussion.
All right, so now you look, it's one thing to argue with me, and that's fine, but you lose a lot of those arguments. It's another to argue with Sean Bernard.
I know, but I think he expressed, the concern of what.
Yeah, but
Maxey,
he said enough
it's worth,
putting the cap on Tyrese Maxey.
That's fine. So that's me projecting that once you take the training wheels off and you take the cap off, that it's not going to just raise a level for him. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be extremely hard for him to make that adjustment and to be that player.
The initial briefing on this hardened is Kyle Neubeck. This is the initial briefing on this hardened decision with more to come in the hours, days, weeks ahead. All right. So he, I guess, would be all right. So that's something probably we should hit right now is we shouldn't expect this to happen in the next 30 minutes.
No,
right?
It's not. No.
So this is something that the option was
Maybe
there
tomorrow.
Well, no, hang on. So let's just work this through. The option was there. James Harden needed to decide on the option. Therefore, did sign the player option, but hey, the stipulation is you got to trade me. So I agree to sign the player option, but now we got to work on a deal to get me the hell out of here. So this absolutely could be something that does take weekend, tomorrow, whatever it may be. But the big breaking news today, right here, right now, according to Shams, is that James Harden has played his final game in a 76ers uniform. The James Harden tenure with the 76ers, John Jansen, what grade do you give it?
Oh, God. I thought last year was good. I'll give it a B. It's not an A. It's not perfect, but that was the best team. That's the best I think the team has ever looked with him.
Played 79 games in the regular season. Let's see here. From the postseason numbers are concerned.
And because of how the way it ended, I think we look at it differently, but I think Harden was very good last year. Now, of course, it ended the same way it always does, and Harden was absolutely horrendous at the end of Game 6 and in Game 7. And I understand that, and I think it's reasons to not like Harden and to think that it didn't work here, but made the team look great with him. They really did.
Played about 100 games total, playoffs included. About 100 games total with the 76ers. Wow. Well, again, trades are going to happen with this team. It's going to be new. And you know what? I'm going to say this because why not? Why not? This franchise, this fan base was so that was this year. That was this season. I caught slack for that. Because I was like, wait, you're not fired up for this playoff?
If you just ran it back, if you ran it back with the same team, even if you switch a head coach, it wouldn't have made a difference. The vibes would have been off.
Wow. All right. Well, anything else as far as the NBA is concerned right now? We are just continuing to refresh. What do? You refresh Woj or refresh Shams at this point in time. That's what you do. But right now, it's exciting because it's going to be new. And I'm not sitting here saying anything like this could possibly happen, but you did just hear Sean say the name Dame. You did, right? Like that's a name that's out there. Is it going to happen? 99% probably no. But it's a name that's being discussed, all right?
So what's the percentage chance that whatever this trade is, and it doesn't have to be, we'll wait down, just when you see the trade and it happens, percentage chance you think that the Sixers will be better off? Like what are the chances they make a trade and they're actually better coming out of the trade?
I want to put the trade
I want to put the trade very low.
I want to put the trade to the side and say when it comes to October, this team collectively, all the moves this offseason, this summer, the chances that they'll be better. Oh man.
Because that's very low to me. Here's a very low chance.
I was surprised Sean said, yeah. I was surprised he did say that he feels like the odds will increase. I would say decrease. Again, I just don't know who else they're going to get, but the names like Morris and stuff like that from the Clippers, come on. Even if Paul George does come to the 76ers, would it be such a big movement in the odds, a shift in the odds that, is he that much better of a player than James Harden in the eyes of the odds makers? James put up numbers. James had this team winning. The odds makers love the 76ers.
Yes,
right?
they did. They were a favorite, by the way, during the playoffs. At one point, they were the favorite to win the East.
Correct. So I would say probably not. I would lean towards the no on that one. All right, we're late for a break. We got to take this. On the other side, we'll keep it going, keep you up to date, all things NBA. Don't go anywhere. More Daily Ticket after this. The Gambler and Gary Barbera on the Boulevard want to put $1,000 in your hand. Be sure to keep it locked right here to The Gambler and listen weekdays for the keyword from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's 9 times a day. Once again, hear the keyword, go to our website at foxphogambler.com and enter the correct response, and you could end up with a cool grand in your hand. So is The Gambler and Gary Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
This holiday weekend, do not drink and drive because we want you to arrive alive at number 1 Barbera Boulevard, where you're going to find the biggest tent sales event.
Go, Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best?
Boy, I guess. Go Birds!
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means, wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Wendy's is open till midnight or later, so you can give in to the craving and go night mode. Now all of your favorite menu items just got their bedtime extended. You can get what you want even later, like the Baconator with 6 strips of bacon, or the perfect fries and frosty duo. If you're up later, then so are we. So go ahead and pull through the drive-thru. When the craving hits, go night mode at Wendy's. Open till midnight or later. All right, see ya later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary. Jake from State Farm here to answer your what ifs.
What if I need a policy, but I just can't choose?
An agent can help you choose. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Chronic joint pain has a snowball effect. It's not just the pain.
What that did is just make me depressed that I couldn't get back into the gym, and I was inactive, gaining weight. I had to find another alternative.
And for Chad, that alternative was QC Kinetics and the non-surgical natural biologic treatments that can give lasting relief to aching hips, shoulders, knees, and backs.
Once they explained it, it made sense. Putting what we have inside our body back into us in a certain strategic way to heal up in a natural process was fantastic.
QC Kinetics treatments take place right in the office. No downtime, no surgery. And as for the outcome,
I'm just back to bouncing around, having fun, doing my work, living pain-free.
Don't let chronic joint pain rob you of your quality of life. Discover advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. Call now to learn more. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
The free iHeartRadio app covers the sports teams you love like no one else. Catch the latest breaking news, plus the upcoming NFL season's just around the corner. And iHeartRadio is your official podcast partner of the NFL. Make the iHeart app your go-to to stay up to date on all things in the sports world. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
You'd do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Our smoky sky will continue into the overnight hours. We actually have poor air quality and a code red through midnight. Temperatures 66 degrees for an overnight low. It's fairly comfortable with respect to the humidity, and some of that smoke's going to linger into Friday. It will disperse a little bit more during the day, so we more than likely be under a code orange as opposed to the code red like today. Still want to limit outdoor exposure. It's warmer at 88, and the humidity comes up a tad. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6ABC forecast.
best.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey DQ fans, do you love cake batter? Well, cue the confetti because the new Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat is here with cake batter flavor, confetti cookie dough pieces, and DQ signature sprinkles in every bite. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Looks like we're seeing some early holiday weekend volume. The Walt Whitman Jan into New Jersey, down to 42 south at Creek Road. Then so from that point down to the Black Horse Pike. Delays on 55 southbound heading into 47. Garden State Parkway southbound, we're seeing some slowing between Northfield and Ocean City due to road work in the left lane. Watch for delays on the Schuylkill westbound Jan, University to Barton City to Belmont. Eastbound, stop and go Blue Route to Belmont and Boulevard to South. 95 northbound back to Betsy Roster Bridge. Southbound Blue Route jam. Approaching Broomall to Media Swarthmore. All right, Tortella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Beachbound Vacations. What is it about the beach that draws us in? At Beachbound Vacations, they can't answer that, but they can get you there in style with top resorts, ocean view rooms, and luxury transportation. Book your next getaway to Dreams Resorts and Spas at beachbound.com.
If you're suffering and there's a safe, natural, easy-to-use solution to help make you feel better, wouldn't you at least want to try it? That's why millions of people use Navage Nasal Care to help relieve their symptoms of sinus congestion, allergies, snoring, and other nasal-related problems. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping flush out everything that makes you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Candace, a verified Navage user who writes, "This is the greatest invention ever made. I truly can't believe the difference and the relief it has made in my sinus problems. Thank you." Unquote. Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
It's the Marketer's Report. Today, Capital One's Chief Brand Officer, Mark Mentry, weighs in on building loyalty with customers.
Capital One has really worked to create amazing access moments for our customers. We will do sound check parties that only Capital One cardholders can get access to, and we can't pull that off without iHeart.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday in July event starts now with limited quantity deals on top business PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy. Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273. Now's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Green. That's green.
Enter now.
You heard the man. Get over to FoxPHLGambler.com and enter the keyword for your chance to win $1,000. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com.
All right, that's going to do it for us here. A crazy last hour because of everything that just took place on the timeline, all courtesy
My head's still spinning.
Woj and Shams. The story is now on ESPN.com. James Harden opting into his $35.6 million contract, clearing the way for a trade out of Philadelphia. So it goes hand in hand. Will Tobias Harris be involved? What will they get in return? Will this deal go down tonight? We'll find out. Tomorrow, though, we'll be live from 3 to 6 p.m. We got a cast of characters. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be streaming, of course, on our YouTube channel at Fox Sports The Gambler, and we will be doing it all on the air as well at foxphlgambler.com and the iHeartRadio app. John Jansen, anything you want to get off your chest before we get out of here?
I got nothing. I'm kind of speechless right now. I don't know, because I don't know what's going to happen with this. This cannot end well. This can't end well. This is it. Sixers are done. It's over.
Oh, I disagree with that.
It's over.
It's
over.
They were done in the eyes of 70% of the franchise if they just ran it back, which is unfair, but it's just the fact of where we are. And I think now
I think we're trading second-round exits for first-round exits now.
Ooh, no, not with Joel Embiid. He's the best player on the floor. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll debate it all. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's the block party. Daily Ticket rolls on. We had the Sheffield Shuffler talking a little Phils. Then we'll get you into Fox Sports Radio. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, Total Traffic.